Okay. Here we go. The question is an easy one. What does your character hope for the afterlife? Alright. So I guess I'll clear chat. Here we go. And let's post that in. Okay, so while you guys are ruminating on that question, does anybody, for a point of de-inspiration, want to sum up what happened last week on Curse of Strahd? If you do, go ahead and roll a d20. Get them ones out of your system now.
Only
Bardic,
slightly better.
A 1d6 could make all the difference in the world. That's what I'm learning.
For instance, it could have tied those two rolls.
Yeah. All right, going once. Going twice. Sold to Wayne Larson for 7 out of 20.
Such a pittance. So, we had just discovered that presumably the priest's son was trapped beneath the church, or something was screaming out, calling out that they were so hungry. And with this information, we return to where we had left the burgomaster to let him know what was going on. And this is right outside of the late Bildrath's store. And he charges us and is willing to pay us, I think, 5 gold pieces each to go and investigate and resolve the matter. At the same time, we're trying to figure out, will word get around town? Will there be a run on the store now that Bildrath is dead? And so Eastmark, Henry, and Dunbar post up there to protect the store, while the 5 of us, right before the parade, go to the church to try and resolve what's going on with the priest. We arrive just as the spirits are coming forth from the ground. Some of us are more brave than others and just wade through it. Others hung back. But all of our decisions are brought to a head when we hear a scream from inside and we decide to act. Jason and I are the ones hanging back. We go through the tide of the undead and the undead spirits, and each suffer a level of exhaustion to get there. And we find Father Donovich over the knocked out and prone form of the madwoman that had been looking for her daughter, who we had met earlier in the day, I believe. And after finding the father as such, we arrest him and start questioning him, only to uncover that, yes, his son is beneath the floorboards, beneath the church, but he is a vampire and has very keen senses. In an effort to thwart that, we relocate just outside the church, trying to have a conversation about how to best proceed given the situation. And we are put to a decision when Anne takes multiple brutal blows from Doru, the vampire, and a fight ensues. It is brutal, pain all the way around, and we just cannot land a blow to really do damage on Doru. Even after dumping holy water on him, that only seems to slow him down a little bit. And to try and combat his immense strength, we tried to even the playing field, limit his field of motion, and burn down the church. And as it burns, we're outside, and he retreats to the roof. And we fall back, feeling that if we try and press it any further, all of us could die. And as the church is burning with the vampire on the roof, the burgomaster, Eastmark, and a couple dozen of the townsfolk come to the church to see it burn to the ground. And that is where we are.
All right, go ahead and take your point of DM inspiration. Okay, so if you were interested in answering the factspiration question, go ahead and chuck out a die. While those are being rolled, to clarify, the burgomaster, Kolyan Endurovich, he was going to pay you 5 gold apiece for the assortment of things that you would offer to do, investigating the church, watching over the store, and helping his daughter watch over Periwinkle.
Oh, that's right. Leo went to help out with that.
So you guys are like kind of spread out in like three different places right now, on top of everything else. Yeah. All right. No one's interested in answering the question. All right. We'll go ahead and just hop right into the session. Oh, there's a die. A mighty 3 from Wayne. All right. Going once.
Anybody else?
Going twice. Maybe it's just you and me playing tonight, Wayne. Oh, Anne's interested. Okay. Going once. Going twice. And sold to Anne.
I just feel like there's a lot of very important social checks that are about to be made, not by me.
Oh. I've seen your guys' character sheets. I don't know who would be able to make them in the state that everyone's in, but
yeah. Not to mention, I'm unconscious, and before I was unconscious, I was baned and confused.
Minor setback.
Okay. Yeah, go for it, Anne. Yeah, what does your character hope for in the afterlife? God damn. You've been reading over Eddie Vincent's shoulder? What's the fuck's going on with that? That's some edgy, tragic shit right there. All right.
She's a rogue, goddammit.
Yeah, fair. You come by it honestly. Go ahead and give me well, not give me. Sorry, take a fanspo. I can turn it on for you actually. Not fanspo, faxpo. And then if you could choose any NPC that you've met previously, you may ask them the same question. If you don't feel like it, that's okay too. Oh man, in the afterlife, he hoped that he could cure his son and redeem his son's soul, even at the cost of his own, because he would gladly burn in the fiery black pits of hell for all eternity if he knew that he was able to save his son's soul in the process. Yep. There you go. All right.
All right. Before we start, can I ask a mechanics question?
Okay.
So, Wayne was Bane and confused when he was knocked unconscious. If he's brought back up with 1 hit point, is he still gonna have any of those effects?
Those statuses will eventually wear off. And statistically, he has a pretty good chance of those things wearing off, you would say, right? Like, it's not impossible. His int saves are currently, I don't mean to put all your business out here, Wayne, but your int saves are currently a +0, so there's a good chance of that. And your charisma saves are currently a +4. So, like, statistically, if he's out for any amount of time, like, it should go away. We will assume that the few minutes that you kind of knocked him out and dragged him to the front, like 20 checks would have happened in those 2 minutes. And statistically, he
would have gotten 120.
he has to have made it. So we will say that if he does come to, then he won't have those stats fixed anymore.
Okay, cool.
All right. Any other questions before we hop in? What was the? I'm sorry. What was the question about your sheet? I did
I
not.
don't think I leveled it up right. My proficiency, I think, should be a +2. It's just a
Oh,
+1.
yeah. Okay. So let's see. Oh, okay. You don't have a class. That's why, because you're playing a
Okay.
special class. All right.
Yeah.
So what hit die does your class use?
D8.
A D8? Okay. So I'm just gonna grab a rogue for now.
Okay.
All right, and we'll just throw a rogue in there. And then let's see. You would have been level
2.
2. Okay. So yeah, okay. Just delete all of the features that it's giving you,
Okay.
and then you should be good.
And I'm tracking what my actual HP is.
Take average.
Probably have to fix your saving throws also.
Okay. Yeah, because
No, I had manually done my saving throws.
Are they the same as for gunslingers?
It's gonna give you it's gonna give you rogue saving
Yeah.
throws.
No. It didn't, because he already
Oh,
had
okay.
them checked. Yeah, he already had some checked. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So
Yeah,
you're
Dex
set
and
up.
Charisma are my saving throws.
Right. All right. So we left off with you guys standing in front of the church burning down behind you. Chris got his rifle either in his hand or slung over his back. Broken Jason is next to him, carrying unconscious Wayne. He's got a big old shiner on his forehead. And then Giantess Anne, with her undersized prosthetic leg that has been like essentially jacked to maximum amounts so that she can stand on it properly, is holding a unconscious Mad Mary under one arm and a blood-soaked, throat-torn-out Father Donovich under her other arm. And then you guys are then facing towards the town, where there is a crowd of, I believe, a dozen villagers who have been roused and have come to see what is happening. And Eastmark and Kulyan and Durovich are all there. Let's see. Yeah, that would be the situation. So let me drag those boys out onto the map so that we have sort of a visual representation. Dunbar is not with Eastmark, worth mentioning, I guess. And I guess I'll just grab some random villagers and throw them out.
Oh, good. So we can kill them if we have to and have combat minis.
I'm
just kidding.
I wouldn't put anyways, all right, so we'll drag these people out. There we go.
Where's Robin?
Where is Robin? Robin is carrying.
I think under Wayne.
She was here a minute ago.
Nope, they're gone. So let me go grab a Robin too. Robin was like, nope. Fuck that.
There's this thing where if I hit delete sometimes when I'm typing something in the chat, it'll
Oh yeah,
if my token.
If your mini's still selected, it'll definitely delete the hell out of your mini. Yep. Foundry, baby, lets you do anything, even the things you maybe didn't really want to do. All right. Let me turn my music up. It's so low for me, but my Foundry music is so high. Frustrating. Let's see. Where's this game? There it is. All right. Cool. Yeah, like on Tuesday, I jacked all my sound like way the hell up and then didn't fix it, I guess. Okay. So the scene resumes, and Eastmark just stares wide-eyed at the burning church, his eyes taking in everything that he sees. He looks concerned, and he definitely looks upset. Kolyan looks furious. He's looking at the church. He's looking at all of you. He looks at the Father Donovich. He looks at Mary. He looks at Wayne, who's unconscious. He looks back at the crowd of people, and the someone from the crowd starts to shout and basically says, "What the fuck happened here? What the fuck are you doing? You just burned down the church!" And at that point, the mob begins to get rowdy. Eastmark turns to look at the crowd, and then Colion says, "No, keep an eye on them." And then Colion turns back to the crowd and says, "What has happened is terrible, but we will find out the truth of what has happened here tonight. You do not need to stay here and cause a scene or risk the wrath of whatever did this. Please return to your homes. I will make a formal announcement in the town square as soon as the sun rises to let you know what has transpired. But we need calm heads as we figure out what has happened. These people were under my pay to investigate some odd occurrences at the church, and obviously something terrible has happened. But you must go home." And he will attempt a persuasion. Okay. The townsfolk murmur to themselves and say, and then this guy in the back says, "I'm tired of living in the dark. I'm tired of being afraid and never knowing what is happening. You, Kulyanovich, yes, you, the lesser, you brought these people here. They are bad omen. They are bad luck. Things were fine until they showed up." At any point, you guys could jump in. Otherwise, I'll just keep playing D&D by myself. That's fine.
You're doing so good.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, I mean, sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. So I understand if you just want to, but I'm giving you a chance to tap in at any time. And then the crowd begins to murmur, and they are getting more rowdy. Eastmark is going to turn to them, and he's going to have his warhammer in his hand, and he is going to say, "My father gave you an order. You will go home, and you will go to sleep, and you will find out in the morning what has happened. And if you can't sleep, then pray to the Morning Lord, because he needs you more than ever now." And then he's going to try an intimidation. And then the crowd seems to get even more upset. And they refuse to leave.
And we'll
Oh, yeah?
and we'll kind of walk down with Father Donovich and
Okay. Mary?
Mary, and say she needs help.
Okay. All right. Colion and Durovich points to Eastmark, gets Eastmark's attention, and he has you head over, or has him head over. And then when he arrives, he says, gets close to you, hopefully close enough that no one can hear. He says, "And I hope you have a good explanation for all of this, because it's looking very bad for you right now."
I have my neck.
A vampire, huh?
Yeah.
And then he looks from your neck to Father Donovich's neck, and over to Wayne, and he says, "All right." And he heads back. And with her in his arms, he leans into his father, and he kind of whispers the words. The crowd tries to eavesdrop on him. Oh shit. And then they start to murmur, Vampire! 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 And the Kolion says, yes, there is vampire. It was hiding in the church. Whether or not Father Donovich knew, we have yet to determine. But apparently, when it was discovered, it attacked these mercenaries and killed Father Donovich. It is currently at large, and you know what that means. You are only safe in your homes as long as the sun is down. And so I suppose I do not need to ask you one more time to go home. And the people begin to leave. Because they lived here their whole life, and they don't fuck around with no vampires.
While that's happening, and we'll come.
Oh,
come
did
back.
You want to stop them, man? Do you want
No,
to?
no, no.
Okay.
She'll just come down and hand Kolion the holy symbol that she was able to save. I don't know if this is important, but I thought this might at least help ease the loss of this somewhat.
He looks, he takes it from you, he looks down at it, tears kind of forming in his eyes, and he looks up at the church, kind of blinking them away in the bright flames, and he says, but why the church? What? Who?
It was Father Donovich's son, Doro?
Vampire.
It was a vampire, or it was his son?
Both.
One and the same.
I see. He must have been turned when he went to Castle Ravenloft, and sent back here to torment the priest.
That's exactly what the priest said.
But
I feel like
assume-
it's worth mentioning we didn't kill the vampire, it got away, so maybe we should get out of here and talk somewhere else.
So you burned down the church for no reason?
Robin will shake her head and she'll say, no, that was just an accident in the fight with the vampire.
Happened in the struggle.
Cool. I'm gonna need Robin and Jason to give me deception checks.
Good as time as any use last DM inspiration I have.
Oh, you know what? I have one hanging out too. I'll go ahead and use it here.
Ooh,
That's a
okay.
good use.
I'm gonna spend a bonus action for a minor action to bolster an ally.
If you would anyway participate in this event, I will.
I said we had to go. I said we had to go.
Okay, so let's see. He is going to do an insight. Oh, and Eastmark is going to do an insight.
Using their passives.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't have to roll those anymore. That's nice. Okay. Well, that sucks for you guys then, because the passive's really high. Alright. Let's see. Alright. As far as you can tell, Robin, he believes you.
She'll take that.
Okay. And he says, come, we will... Well, we can't leave the church here burning all night. If any of the flames carry to the other buildings, they will set the town ablaze. I cannot abandon it. And I have sent everyone home for the night.
Here, Chris, take away and I'll assist with the water.
We'll do what?
Yeah, I didn't hear half of the words you said.
Chris, go ahead and take Wayne. I'll assist the Burgomaster with putting out the fires.
Yeah, these wounds are pretty nasty. I gotta.
Okay.
Do you know how to find a fire though?
Colion looks at the building and he says, it's made mostly of stone. Once the fire burns away all the wood, it should be fine. The rain, which is coming soon enough, should damp it out, but I don't want to take any chances.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to be here just in case the fire spreads, so I can wake the people in their homes.
yeah. Don't spend your efforts trying to put out with water. Just make sure there's nothing near it that could burn.
Right.
Yes. No need for the sparks to jump and kind of look around. Where's Wayne's dog?
Eastmark says, I left him at the house. I hope that if someone came by, they would hear him barking and leave. I will head
Wait,
back there now.
Which house?
I think it means the general store.
Builder's home? The store?
All right. Well, I think I could just take Wayne there and look at him there, and we can keep watch over the store.
I'd prefer you stay here and keep an eye on my father.
Robin will nod. She'll say, I'll stay here, but somebody needs to go help Wayne, and
And their injuries are bad.
yeah.
Then take them to our home, where Irenia can tend to them.
Chris will nod, and he'll start taking them away. And you should probably come too.
He'll look at everybody and then look at the Bogdanovich and look at everybody else and says, should I bring him as well?
Robin will turn back to Ilion and say, he was bitten and his neck looks really infected and terrible.
Then his body will have to be burned.
That was my question. She'll kind of look over to Anne, and she'll say, I mean, we have a fire here. Is that the best way? Do we need to do a separate ceremony for him? What's best here? Kind of looking back over to the Burgomaster.
Unfortunately, those who are believers in the Morning Lord prefer to be interned intact. The burning of their body is somewhat of a desecration. But Father Donovan would have understood that this is to keep everyone safe. Those of you who are bit will need to be monitored. There is a very small chance that you may have contracted vampirism through the wound.
So I believe that's Wayne and Anne. So you should definitely come with me.
Okay.
For now, take Father Donovich to my home, and we will burn him out back.
Okay.
Alright. So, who is staying with Kulian and Durovich in this dark, burning scene where a vampire could very much still be lurking and on the prowl?
Robin will stay.
Jason will say.
Alright. Let's see. Eastmark is going to hope that Dunbar at the house is enough, or sorry, Dunbar at the general shop, which is also a house, is enough, and he's going to stay here as well. He does not want to risk anything happening to his father, so he would hand off Mary as well, probably to Anne, because I can't imagine Chris could carry two people all the way across town.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, he's got this big rifle. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah, dash Y. Okay. Alright, so then you guys are leaving the scene. Okay. As you are walking through town, once you leave the burning fire behind, that you can see the entire walk to the burgomaster's house. Everything else in town is kind of dark, but every now and then you can see sort of candlelight in a window. And then when you look, you sort of see like curtains sort of pulled aside or moving as if people were looking out into the night to see what they could see. All right. So we have two different scenes happening here. One is you guys heading back to the burgomaster's house, and one is them basically staying here through the night, hoping that a vampire does not come back for more fun and games. Woof. All right. Those of you who agreed to stay with the burgomaster, you may take DM inspiration. Okay. All right. I am going to roll for random encounters for the rest of the night. And then if a random encounter does occur, it will indicate that Doru has decided to come back and see what he could get up to. If you don't get one, then I guess you made it through the night. All right. I will say that statistically, if he comes back, it will be very bad. But here we go. Let's see. It is currently... Damn, is it really only that? It's only like 8 o'clock at night? Oh my god.
Yep.
Alright. That's
It
a
wasn't very long after
long
I left.
night. Okay, let's see.
You did say until the rain, not necessarily all night.
Alright.
Just throw
So
that
the
out
extinguishment of the house. I guess we could try to help it along.
there. Yeah, we can make the fire worse.
If the building collapses on itself, it's more likely to burn in an organized manner.
I mean, a stone building, it's probably not going to take that long to burn out, right?
I mean, there's not. It's also the church, right? Like it's a little separate from everything. Like there's
Yeah.
no
It's
building
just
like
yeah.
We forgot about all the oily rags in the basement.
Well, the barrels of anointing oil that were down there, the highly flammable anointing oil. Overall, a house of stone won't take more than an hour or so to burn itself out. All the wood parts and stuff like that. So I only have to roll once. What could possibly go wrong?
Chris just got put on the FBI arson watch list.
Yeah. I mean, my search history is so bananas it doesn't really matter. All right. Man, let's see. Okay. So there was a 15% chance that Doru came back, but he did not. So, you wait about an hour, a light drizzle starts to pick up again, and Colion stares sort of quietly the whole time at the burning church. Eastmark is definitely perception checking, on guard, trying to make sure nobody's sneaking up. During that hour, Robin and Jason, do you explain anything to these two men? Do you do anything at all to sort of soften the blow of what has happened and try to prepare for what is to come?
Are they asking questions? Because I think what would happen with Robin, if unless they're asking questions about what happened, what Robin would steer it a little more to is like, okay, so there's this vampire who's loose, like, what do we need to know? We're not from here, kind of thing. Like that's the direction she would go.
Okay. That is acceptable conversation, even though Eastmark would like everyone to be quiet so that he could try to hear if the vampire is sneaking up on you. It was a trick question. But Kolyan says there will be time to discuss it later. For now, if you have any garlic on you, if you are a stalwart worshipper of any sort of faith, have a symbol of that faith ready and on display.
Fate from
They-
beyond has effect here.
So the stories say. True faith can be found in many places, but it is something that the vampires despise.
Wasn't sure if us being strangers, if it would still have any effect. As my compass doesn't seem to work. I pull
He
out the
just-
compass.
He just sort of stares at you, and he says, "So your faith is a compass."
No. But seems this place does not work in the same way from where we came from.
You seem confused. This is not about whether or not God can reach you. This is about whether or not you believe in what your God is about and the actions that you are doing in the name of your God. That is faith. In fact, I would say that the strongest faith is doing what your God would think is right, even if you knew that your God could not see it.
Robin is going to kind of nodding along with that. She's going to say, I am someone who have not found a god that was worthy of my faith until now. Is there something that you believe in, that you have faith in here?
My wife was a stalwart worshipper of the Morning Lord. I have been faithful and paid my tithes and done all I can to support the church, but no, I believe in the people. I believe in law. I believe in civilization.
Does that work in the same way as faith in a god?
I have very few run-ins with vampires, if I can help it. For example, I myself have never met the Dark Lord in person, but I have encountered one of his brides. She treats our village as her own personal cattle ranch. Occasionally, not too often, but perhaps once or twice a year, she will come here in her black carriage and she will shop around for a person to take back to Castle Ravenloft with her. She is the bride of the Dark Lord, and so I can do nothing to stop her.
Robin's just kind of.
And as you have probably learned from your run-in with young Doru, few can do anything against the might of a vampire. Let alone one as strong as Anastasia.
Robin's going to.
Let me check the spelling on that just in case. There's like 500 NPCs. Anastasia. There we go. Anastasia.
Robin's going to nod along. She's going to say, and yet, knowing all of that, here you are, outside in the middle of the night, in front of this burning church, and you're willing to risk your life, our lives, the life of your son, against a monster you know you probably can't fight, just for the risk of the fire maybe spreading in the next hour. You obviously have some faith in something.
You give
Yes.
much to the people. They don't seem much to give back to you.
They had plenty to give at one time, but they are worn down. Now they have impotent rage at their situation, at the state of the world, and they are desperate to find an outlet for it. No matter what words I deliver in the morning, I think you will find that your stay here in the village of Barovia will be very, very unpleasant moving forward. They are a superstitious people. And as outsiders, they were already wary of you and the destiny that awaits you. Now, in one day, Ildrath has died. His nephew is in custody for his murder. The church is burned down. Father Donovich is dead. And confused, scared witnesses will tell whatever sorts of tales they think will sound the most exciting. And you and your friends are going to be at the center of every story, every rumor. I am not telling you that you should leave town, but I am telling you that you should be ready.
Yeah, Robin's going to nod, and she's going to say, "We had talked about traveling with possibly, I guess, your son to Valaki, Valakai, however we were saying,
Valakai.
Valakai, to go speak with the burgomaster there. Perhaps we could buy enough time in the town, perhaps for a couple of days to rest and heal some wounds and regroup a little bit, and perhaps it might be best for us to plan to do that trip sooner rather than later."
No need for a wound to fester.
I would appreciate that very much. Once we are inside and safe, I will make us some strong tea, and we can figure out just what happens and what... Well, I will figure out what is best to tell the people.
Yeah, Robin will nod. She's going to say, if there's anything that we can do to help, I know they won't trust us as outsiders, but if there's anything we can say or do to assist you.
Robin, I think we just need not to stir the pot.
Yeah, she's gonna nod. She's gonna say, "That's what I'm assuming. I'm just making sure you know the offer's on the table if you think it's necessary."
All right. On that note, we're going to head over to the landing page and see what's happening over at the Burgomaster's place with the rest of the group, Periwimple, Leo, Arena, etc., etc. Okay. So you guys return to the Burgomaster's house with all of these dead and unconscious people with you. All right. Let's see. Is anybody getting some like weird background sounds at all? Or is that just me?
I'm hearing the music.
Oh, nobody's hearing like a weird spooky breathing in the background?
No.
No.
Oh, Great.
Should we be hearing a weird, spooky breathing in the background?
Have you checked behind you?
Oh, I see what's going on. I had the test world open. I was working on the test world before the game started, and it was on a spooky scene. And I forgot that it was open, and it was still playing all the spooky sounds from Foundry. And I was like, damn, why is this spooky stuff playing on this map? It's just the church. And then I was like, whatever. I guess it's kind of good ambiance. And then I left that map, and it was still playing, and I was like, worried. And then I'm like looking at like Foundry, and it's like, I'm not playing any music or sounds. And I was like, cool, I'm having a stroke. Nice. All right, so now that that's been sorted, yeah, you
You don't
guys,
smell burnt toast, do you?
all the time, and feathers. So as you get to the house, it is dark. It is ominous looking. The horses are asleep in the stables. But you see out front is Leo smoking a cigarette. You don't know where he keeps finding these cigarettes from. At this point, he might just be smoking like leaves that he's gathered and rolled up. But he looks over at all of you, and he nods, and he says, "Yeah, Henry's inside. Periwimple's downstairs. They got like a dungeon in their basement. He's locked up. It's more like a holding cell, but I don't know. It's also kind of like a dungeon. You know, like a drunken disorderly tank, the local cop station. She refuses to leave his side. She's, I think, reading to him or something, and Henry's just sort of sitting down there on a crate, looking grumpy and ominous. I just came out here to get some fresh air. Looks like it's gonna rain. How do things go? Where's Jason?
Jason's still at the church. It's a long story. And then like you know, after walking so long and still like have a gaping wound on her neck, she's gonna
Yeah.
try and find a place to sit and put down the bodies after the long walk.
Yeah. All right. So you just gotta set them down, like on the porch, like the front
Mhm.
area of the house. Okay. And Father Donovich's head lolls horribly, and his torn out throat is just kind of necrotic and kind of crusted over with scabs already. His eyes still wide open, like stare up into the night sky. Leo kind of like sucks in his teeth a little bit, like, and like looks away, shakes his
Yeah.
head. Yeah.
You need to go get Irenia and tell her to bring what medical supplies she has.
I don't think she's gonna be able to help the father very much, but yeah, I'll go grab her.
Yeah,
So not,
that's quite the observation.
he's going to head inside, and in about 5 minutes or so, he comes back out with Irenia. And she looks around at all of you, and she says, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but now that I'm seeing it, it seems really bad. Who needs to be looked at first? Is Wayne all right?
He should get the first look. He's been bitten by a vampire.
I see. Well, there is a technique that I have read about. We can treat the wounds with holy water, and that might prevent him from contracting the vampirism. But I have but one bottle of holy water left in my kit. I was hoping to use it to try and figure out what was going on with the zombies and the sickness spreading through the town.
We can't do like a half and half.
Not really. It's it there's a certain amount that would have to treat him to really make any sort of difference, you know?
What
Like
happens if
you
what happens
can't
if
eat
someone
half your
doesn't get
dinner
the
and be full.
what happens
Well,
if someone doesn't get the holy water?
sometimes a person who is bit by a vampire will start to change and develop symptoms like a blood disease. It's normally associated with repeated feedings on the same person. And it's very rare that anything comes of it other than the person just being very sick for a very long time. But there are stories that say if left untreated, there is a small chance that the person might die from the blood sickness and they might rise up as a sort of mindless, bloodlusting undead.
Chris looks at Anne, just like, well, to be honest, I think your constitution's a bit better. I think you have a better chance of fighting it, but if you want it, I understand.
Anne's gonna be holding her neck, and yeah, give it to the weakling.
She kind of scrunches her face up, but she says, "The weakling." Oh, I mean, he is a little scrawny, but it's not very nice, Anne. And are you guys going to go to Valakai? Cause maybe you could bring back, or well, maybe I could go too, and we can go to the church there, and I can try to get as much holy water as I can to bring back here, and perhaps even the priest there might have some solutions for me of how to deal with this plague.
I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do, but the town ain't quite happy with us, so I don't see us staying much longer.
Hmm. She pulls from her medicine kit a like a thick glass sort of potion bottle, for lack of a better word, and it just seems to have, you know, like spring water in it. And she just stares at it, deep in thought, and then kind of looks to Wayne, and she just sighs like real deep because for her this was like, you know, a possible solution for the illness in the town. And
I guess you wanna ask yourself.
she seems to be struggling about whether or not to use it.
I mean, Irina, you're the one who has the water. You're the one who's has to make that choice.
I mean, they got hurt doing what your father asked us to do.
She narrows her eyes at you and she says, "That's a pretty shitty and cowardly thing to say, Chris. So, no, I don't think I will. And I think you need to start taking some responsibility for the things that happen to you. The world isn't just happening to you, Chris. You live in the world. The things that you do, they have consequences. You choose to do something and something happens, that's on you."
Do what you will, lady.
Yeah, go fuck it yourself.
Can you help me with this lady over here? She has a bad head wound.
And who are you talking to? Because she's treating
Irina.
Wayne. Oh, I mean, she's got one person at a time here.
Oh, okay.
All right. Do you linger, Chris, or do you leave?
Chris is only concerned with the health of Wayne and Anne. So if it means Wayne getting better attention, he's gonna provide his input.
Okay. Then she will make the check with advantage. I gotta do blind so that she doesn't know exactly what's going on. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Wayne, you are already stabilized, obviously, because you were knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
So she looks over your injuries, and she points out to everyone that you have the same wounds that you had before, because you haven't tried to heal them, and that you just, I mean, you're just gonna have to heal. Like the flesh around the neck, she has to cut a bunch of the necrotic tissue away, which it's just gonna be a really, really bad scar. But she cuts a bunch of it away, and then while you're under, she kind of cauterizes the trimmed away flesh to prevent infection. From a clay jar in her medicine kit, she pulls out a few leeches, and before cauterizing, she has the leeches essentially feed on you to clean away any sort of toxins and stuff like that. It's very medieval medicine, like the whole process.
So, every 6,000 miles, come in and she'll rebalance my humors.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past some of the doctors here to do that, but in this case, her concern is that the wound is infected in like a very bad way, and she's just trying to get as much of that infected tissue off of you and as much of that infected blood off of you as possible. And they don't have like blood transfusion machines or anything like that. Okay. Tending to you, it's gonna take about, I don't know, an hour or so, just to kind of cut you, make sure everything's good. During that time, you would still be out cold.
Okay.
And then after that hour, she would move to Mary, who was unconscious. And within about 10 minutes, just says that Mary just took a bad hit to the head, and she will be out for... actually, yeah. So as she's heading over to check on her, Mary would actually wake up, and she would be in a bit of a panic. And she would kind of start screaming and shying away from everyone, and just starts crying out for Father Donovich and for her daughter and all that. At this point, I'm assuming that the bodies and the people and everything have been moved inside the home.
Yeah.
So probably the dining room table, so that there's easy access to the kitchen, and yeah. So Mary starts screaming and is pretty hysterical. She's shouting at everyone. She's crying. She's crying for her daughter. She's crying for Father Donovich. She just seems to be completely out of her mind. At that point, those of you who were at the church and are now heading back towards the house would hear this screaming from the front courtyard. Okay. So I guess hearing the screaming, Ismark and Kulian and Durovich would start running into the house.
Yeah, Robin.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute. Robin would follow in and definitely want to see what's happening, because all she has in her mind is like, oh fuck, we fucked up another thing here.
All right. So yeah, as you guys run into the house, the sounds are coming from the dining room. You go in and you see Irenia and Anne, question mark, trying to calm down Mary? Or are you just
Yeah.
kind of standing off to the side, Anne?
I'm trying to calm her down.
Okay. So Anne, you could approach that a number of ways. What is your technique?
Okay. She's gonna just try and stop her from flailing and uh, hold her arm so that she doesn't hurt herself in her hysteria, and hopefully look to Irina to see if she can say something. So maybe help
Okay.
Irina.
Sure. Okay. All right. She is upset. And then you guys kind of have her calming down when in the doorway of the dining room you see Jason, Robin, Eastmark, and Kolyan. When she sees Kolyan, she seems to calm down, and then she looks around as if seeing where she is for the first time, and then she says, Burgomaster Indorovich, I did not mean to trespass. I don't know how I got here. I was in the church, and then I was getting ready to leave, and I don't remember what happened after that. Then I woke up, and then the strangers were here, and then there was so much blood, and then she kind of glances at, I'm assuming, the body of Father Donovich. You guys wouldn't want to leave it
Yeah, I don't think we take.
unattended. Yeah, so in the corner of the dining room, kind of wrapped up at least with like a sheet over it, is Father Donovich's body, and she says, "Is that man dead? Where is Father Donovich? What is happening here? I need to get home to my daughter. She shouldn't be home alone. She's just a little girl." And Kolyan says, "Of course, Ismark, if you could." And without saying anything, Ismark goes and says, "Mary, come with me. I will walk you back to your home. You shouldn't leave Gertruda alone at night." And then, just like dripping blood, I guess, they head out. All right. Kolyan looks at all of you, and he looks at the sheet in the corner, and he says, "Father Donovich."
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And he looks at the bandages that are, somewhat bloody on Wayne's neck, and he looks at you, Anne, who hasn't received any treatment yet, and he says, "I will put some tea on, something strong. If you do not want to be up for the next few hours, I would recommend just having some wine." And he heads into the kitchen.
Wine sounds good. Thank you, mister.
All right, what do you guys do?
I'll explain what happened at the church if Irina has questions.
She says, Leo just said that you guys had to fight a vampire,
Yeah.
and that you set the church on fire so that you could burn the vampire. I mean, it's really terrible to burn down the church, but if it killed the vampire, then I suppose that's good. The fire can make it
Exactly.
very hard for them to wait, what?
During the struggle, after the vampire attacked Father Dumbledore, a lantern was spilt, and the church was caught afire during it.
Leo catches your eye, and he nods. And then Leo is going to say, yeah, You know, I was I didn't know for sure what happened. So, because you know, um, yeah. So, anyways, they were there. They would know for sure. Yeah. And she kind of looks at you, Jason, and go ahead and give me a deception.
We have one for exploration if you want to use it.
Inspiration, you mean?
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah, for inspiration.
Yeah, we'll use it on this. It's probably the best idea. It's a D6, right?
No, it's just advantage.
D4? Oh, okay.
Okay. She says, that's terrible. Leo, why would you say that they like burned it down to catch the vampire? And he says, I don't know, it just seemed like their
Yeah,
style.
happens in the stories a lot where we come from.
Yeah. I just, I shouldn't have assumed. I'm sorry.
How's Polwinkle doing?
He's very upset, but I read him some stories till he fell asleep. And, this is going to hurt a lot, but I should probably cut away the infected tissue, and then
Alright.
you'll need some leeching.
Can't be any more painful than actually getting the bite.
Okay. So yeah, she cuts away at the skin and all of that and gets the process started. Are you assisting again, Chris?
I am.
Okay.
I'm trying not to agitate her. I'm just trying to do what she asks. Hand me this.
Okay.
Give her that.
She does a much better job with Anne than she did with Wayne. And it's painful, but after all the things that you've endured, it's certainly not the most painful thing.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. So she disposes of the leeches by kind of putting them in like a ice bucket essentially, and then dousing them with a little bit of oil and lighting them on fire. Because this is the fantasy setting, you hear all the leeches kind of let out horrible little screams as they burn to death. Fat on your infected blood. All right. You hear the whistle of a tea kettle, and then Kolian brings in tea and wine from the kitchen. As Irenia begins cauterizing the fresh wounds on Anne, and then wrapping them with bandages. And at this point, Kolian says, now that we're safe inside, what exactly happened?
Robin will step forward, I guess, or sit down nearby, somewhere if there's a chair, and she'll kind of say, "So we went to the church. We got there just as the evening parade was in full swing, and we could hear inside the church someone screaming." Not the son, not Doru, but Mary. We heard her screaming from inside the church. We didn't know it was her at that point, but it was definitely a woman. And so we ran through the parade to get to the door, and we were able to burst it open, and Father Donovich was dragging Mary. She had been hit on the head and knocked unconscious. He was dragging her towards the basement, I believe, for Doru to have dinner. We stopped.
Yoru, his son, who went to fight the Dark Lord with the wizard.
Correct. We were able to apprehend Father Donovich, and it took a couple of minutes, but we appealed to his love of his son and his faith, and he told us that his son had been cursed to be a vampire in retaliation for going and marching against your Dark Lord, and had been sent back to torment him. And when he came, he was super weak, but Father Donovich couldn't bring himself to kill his son. And he said he saw that there were lots of people suffering in the village, and he could keep his son safe and locked away in the basement, and he could also help end the suffering for those who are worst off in the village. I think he, at the end, saw the error of that, and he wanted us to help end Doru and Doru's suffering, and ultimately Father Donovich's suffering. And unfortunately, while we were trying to come up with a plan to best approach that, Doru, I guess, had been able to hear us from in the basement with his enhanced abilities as a vampire, and snuck up on Anne, and who was guarding Father Donovich, and he struck Anne and grabbed his father and dragged him into the church, away from us. And when we followed him in, he tore out his father's throat and attacked us. And
I heard him say that it was punishment for his father turning on him. Well, our punishment for getting his father to turn on him.
And after that, it was quite a blur of action. The vampire bit, as you saw, several of us, as it was very fast and could climb the walls and the ceiling, and there was quite a battle that took place. And during that's when the church caught on fire, and well, pretty much the rest. The vampire.
About like, maybe 10 minutes into your 5 or 10 minutes into your recounting, Eastmark would have returned as well, loaded down with a sack of supplies. Sorry to interrupt, but I just I wanted to make sure you didn't think you had to tell the story twice, because he kind of caught, the missed a little bit of the beginning, but caught up. So
yeah, and like she would kind of wrap up. She'd say, we doused him with the holy water, and it seemed like we were able to do damage to him at that point, and he was afraid of us, and he ran onto the roof of the burning building, and that was the last that we saw of him. We didn't hear any. I'm assuming we didn't hear any screams of pain or anything while we stood watch. So, right?
No.
Yeah. So, that's the last we saw of him.
Kulian looks very thoughtful. Irenia is quietly thoughtful. Eastmark nods along with the story. Both children seem to be waiting for their father to kind of weigh in before they say anything. Kulian says, looking at the information that you'd gathered, Ismark, it makes sense that most of these disappearances that you were investigating were likely tied to Father Donovich. There are those who have left and tried the trade roads. Whether or not they made it to Valakai, we don't know. But we now at least understand what was happening to those within the town who had no reason to leave, who disappeared without a word, without saying goodbye, and sometimes leaving their belongings. It is a pity that such a good man could fall so far from grace, could find himself consumed by such darkness. As a father, I understand that there would be temptation there. There would be a tremendous desire to make things right again, to not have to lose everything. But more so than a father to one son, he was a father of the Morning Lord to all on this village. His civic responsibilities, his religious responsibilities, cast aside for madness. And now the vampire is loose on a town that already has so many struggles and so many burdens and so few ways to deal with them. And it sounds like none of you have the skills or the equipment or the experience necessary to hunt this vampire. He takes a deep sigh and he drinks from his tea with a steady hand.
I mean, I could maybe track it, but I don't know if I'd really want to.
If we had a lot more holy water and weren't in the state that we're currently in, maybe, but no, right now, no.
Eastmark says, after dropping off Mary, I went by the shop to check on Dunbar. He's a good boy. He barked very loud when I came in. I filled this sack with garlic and a few flasks of oil, some torches, but I could not find, and perhaps there will be time enough to look, but tonight I could not find any holy water or any sort of magic that he might have squirreled away. Perhaps purchased off of a desperate adventure in times past. And then he kind of takes his the sack and sets it on the table, and it sort of opens a bit, and you see it's just got just cloves and cloves of like dried garlic chains, and then the other items that were described, and the smell is not pungent and overwhelming, because you're starting to realize that part of why these people are so stinky is that most of them carry on their person a clove or a whole head of garlic as sort of, you know, precaution or talisman. Yeah.
I think the biggest issue was none of our weapons seemed to have much effect.
When
I
you say
shot
that,
him square in
Oh.
the chest and barely phased him.
Eastmark nods and says, my Warhammer, I've paid a great deal of money to have the metal silvered using a special technique that allows the weapon to hurt certain spirits and even and especially werewolves. But vampire are different. only magic can do them any real harm, and only the power of faith and divinity can stop them from recuperating and healing from all of their wounds. Even set ablaze, a vampire will recover through the burns until they extinguish. Some think that you can burn a vampire's body until all is left but ashy bones. But the stories say that each night those bones will grow more and more flesh until it is restored again. There are only a few ways to destroy a vampire forever, and I will confess that I do not know any except to douse the unconscious form of a vampire, that is to say, one that has fallen in battle with holy water.
Or
Only then can you set their remains alight.
in a
Using the holy water during the fight, it will stop its healing for only a few moments. And such a treasure is too precious to waste in such a manner.
where we come from, the stories about vampires, they you have like a wooden stake, and you drive it into their heart. That usually stops them from moving, freezes them. I don't know if that works here. Paralyzes them.
All three of these family members look thoughtful, but none of them seem to have heard of this this tactic.
I don't know if it's true.
One thing that we do know is that they cannot abide garlic, in the same way that a werewolf disguised in human form will shy away from silver, or its skin will sizzle at the touch. So too, a vampire can just sense garlic and will try to avoid it.
That's also from the stories where we come from too. They don't like garlic.
So maybe our stories are true, but maybe here no one's tried it, lived long enough to tell the tale.
Kolian smiles grimly and says, "Well, this realm doesn't appreciate monster hunters, especially not vampire hunters, so it would make sense that any who knew such techniques were not around to share that information."
Mm-hmm.
Irene says, "I thought you came from a world that did not have magical things."
I mean, don't
Stories.
you remember when I was telling you about Harry Potter?
Well,
We got all
yes,
we got
but
all sorts of stories.
I wonder why you have stories about the magic but no magic. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, except maybe, like, somehow, maybe the people who write these stories, maybe they know something that you guys don't know and they're trying to tell you.
Maybe they've been here.
Maybe. I don't think too many people come here and leave, though.
I mean, would you know if they left?
Well, no, but we definitely know what happens to most of them.
Well, it only takes one to spread a story.
And then she kind of like tries not to make eye contact with anyone in the room. So
I know you mentioned taking care of the body before something happens.
How worried should we be about? I kind of glance at Robin and Wayne.
Oh, Robin, did you get bit also?
No, Robin didn't get bit.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I do need a blind GM roll. It needs to be a D Hundy from Anne and from Wayne.
Okay.
Is this do we know if it's a high or low that we need for this?
Does it matter? Are you good? Is
Can
it
I
gonna
use it?
We
change?
won't see it.
Am I able to use my
Absolutely not.
okay.
This is what they call on the other side of the fence a flat roll, but the ancients called it a percentile die.
And
then-
I'm hitting that ninja before I
Yes,
roll this,
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daredevil Ninja, then hit the D Hundy. Okay. Well, it is what it is. All right. Okay. Irenia says, just if there's one thing that we have a lot of in Barovia, it is garlic. So just have the two of them nibble on garlic every day, and if they ever feel like they don't want to or they start throwing up, then they probably contracted the blood disease.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we need to get them to Valakai. And
Well, I mean, if you're going all the way to Valakai, I mean, we could
then
probably
you guys
go all the
guys
way
could-
to the Abbey, and then, like,
well, I mean, I was gonna say you guys need holy water.
well, yeah,
so
we definitely do.
it would make sense if we went together.
She looks to Kolyan, and Ismark, and Ismark says, I had already intended to go, but this definitely adds some urgency. Perhaps in Valakai we can find mercenaries who are willing to come back and help us fight the vampire, or at least find information about how best to deal with him, or maybe even find some clues or leads on weapons that we could use against it. Or, worst case scenario, we just spend all of our money donating to the church, take all the holy water they have, come back and hope for the fucking best.
Yeah, I know your townsfolk are a bit upset right now, but if you opened up some of the goods in Bildrad's shop, that may distract them.
Kolyan looks to Robin and says, you said that you needed a few days to rest. Is it impossible for you to consider leaving sooner for Valakai?
She'll look around the group. I mean, everybody has a few wounds and stuff. I mean,
Has to
mechanically,
be discussed before we can
yeah.
formally give you an answer.
How long does blood disease normally take to sit in if they got it?
Irene says, about 12 hours or so. I've never seen it myself in person. Well, no, that's not true. There was that guy that Anastasia was feeding on. Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any kind of like? I doubt you would have a way to like magnify your vision. Like we could inspect the blood and see if we see any abnormalities.
Oh, yes. I have a magnifying glass for reading small things.
Do you have like another magnifying glass we could put under that to kind of like amplify it? Or maybe we could get some from the shop. If we stack magnifying glasses on top of each other, we can see closer and closer, and we can actually see the
what?
the individual cells.
What are you talking about? What's like a prison cell? Like there's
No, okay,
like a really small prison cell?
Oh, I see what. So in your body is actually made up of a bunch of tiny little microorganisms called cells. and they work together. If you give me maybe 5 magnifying glasses, I can show you what it looks like. It's called biology.
Bullion leans into Eastmark and says, "Science." And Eastmark makes a snorting sound. And Irenia says,
I'll show you. Let's just see what we could get.
get from where?
I don't know. We gotta find magnifying glasses.
Well, I have one, but it... Okay. She seems a little hesitant, and she says, "You're going to use the magnifying glass to look at blood?"
Yeah, you'll understand when you see it.
Robin's going to cut in, and she's just gonna say, I mean, if we had to, we could get on the road, I think, but she's gonna gesture over at Anne and at Jason and at Wayne. She's gonna say the three of them are especially in really bad shape. I mean, my insides feel beat all to hell. She'll point over at Henry and just say, even Henry is. I don't even remember what Henry's wound is, but I mean, we're all just a bit.
He has a concussion.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we're all in pretty bad shape, and if the trip was going to just be walking every day and camping out at night or whatever, sure we could do it, but I mean we've all been on the road and we know that that's not what happens out there, and I think in the state that we're in, we'd probably be more of a liability right now than really a help. Give us a couple of days and I think we can.
Yeah, I think
maybe help you
Robin's talking real smart right now. And look, if you don't want us wandering around the town because it might upset people, we could just stay in here. If you'd be okay with that, and that way we won't cause any disturbance or disruption. And then once we're fine fit,
Eastmark
we
kind
can
of
go.
furrows his brow at that and says, "Then people will assume that we are harboring you. And if we're harboring you, then you probably have some reason that you need us to harbor you."
Tell them we're in custody while you get to the bottom of everything.
Is there some place outside of town that we could stay that's safe, that we could rest?
They all three shake their heads. No. But Irene says, "Well, technically you could go to Serpool and see if the Vistani will let you stay with them for a little while."
If it's possible.
How far away is that?
That was about a day's journey outside of town, right?
If it's possible, maybe we can rest and just do smaller tasks around town to maybe see if we can win some of the people's trust back.
Well, you could help me try to figure out what's happening with this plague.
I don't know if would doing that involve stuff that can get us bit by vampires.
No, but maybe bit by zombies or something.
I don't know if that will help.
Well, I don't think being bit by a zombie will help anyone, but this guy right here, he's talking about looking at blood and seeing little creatures in it and stuff. Maybe he could help me figure out what's going on with the
Did you ever look at the rats and the
I haven't had a chance yet.
Well, there you go. What sort of trouble could we possibly get into? Looking at blood and rats, huh? This is perfect idea. We'll do this for the next couple of days, and then everyone will be rested, and then we'll head out.
Yeah, if you don't mind that'd be.
Well, there's no reason for us to go on the road that's full of danger, and then we have to worry about people being hurt.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I can take shifts watching Periwinkle too while I rest.
And you know what? Maybe we could help you clean this place up. It's a bit of a mess.
Polion says, well, if you're under house arrest here, then you can't really be seen out in the town. So if we do this, and I announce in the morning that you are being held here in the cells, in the basement, until we figure out exactly what your involvement was and what is happening, then I need you to actually stay out of sight. Is there anything that you need brought from the inn?
My brother.
Yeah, Robin's gonna nod. Yeah, definitely Dan. And she's gonna kind of look over at you, and she's gonna say, "He's, I think, in about the worst way of any of us. I don't even know if he'll be able to travel even once we're all able to." She'll kind of look back over at Colion and say, I don't know if it would be possibly maybe if he would be safe here if we left him, or I don't know what to do with him.
Well, if he was seen with the rest of you, he will be held under suspicion. By the locals. So he could stay here with me until he has recovered. And then perhaps by then you will have returned from Valakai with the supplies that we so desperately need, and perhaps even good news of the trade roads being reopened. For now, if he is in such dire shape, I assume you just leave him at the inn, and we will retrieve him in the morning after I give the announcement. It will be a good public display that he is also being taken into custody. It will help the story that you are being punished in some way for what happened at the church. That is all the people probably need to see. For now.
Yeah, that's good. And
Whether or not anyone is at fault, whether or not it was an accident, whether or not you panicked, it's over now. What I need to do is figure out what best way to present this narrative to the people that will allow them to hold on to some shred of hope and dignity, that will not send them into a blind rage or panic. And so I have much thinking to do. I appreciate everything that you've done so far. For now, we should put Father Donovich in a cell. I would say that we could burn him outside, but we have taken too many chances traveling to and fro at night. A vampire cannot enter a home uninvited. It's very important.
Hey, that's like that in our stories too.
Then perhaps there is some more credence to this stabbing them with wood.
And were you able to save anything from the?
Yeah, I gave it
church?
back to. I gave it to the burgomaster.
Yeah, he kind of points to the sidebar where he's kind of set it down, and he said, "From now on, I will simply offer my courtyard as a place of gather and worship."
Robin's going to nod. She's going to say, "Well, one other thing then. When you are fetching supplies and things for us, if you could bring, or if there's any just wood that we could spend some time fashioning, I think it would at least be smart, given that we don't know for us to make a bunch of wooden stakes that we could stab vampires with if need be.
No, Dunbar needs to be
It-
fetched too.
And if you need me to look at the rats, I would need some kind of like chemistry set. I believe in Harry Potter they called it alchemy, so maybe you got something like that. And I can look into the infections.
Okay. Eastmark it begins writing down things to go fetch in the morning. All right. Does anyone have anything else, or do you get sent to your guest quarters and fall asleep on essentially the linenless mattress in an empty room because these people have pretty much like sold off / given away everything they have to the community?
I think Robin would try to get just a minute with Anne at
Okay.
some point to talk about Dan really briefly.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
And so, kind of pulling Anne aside at some point, she would just say, with Dan, I'm so worried about, I mean, not just his physical stuff, but with his state of mind, if we were to leave him here. But I don't know that he can travel.
I think it's best to leave him here.
Yeah. She's going to nod. Do you think he will be safe enough here with the Burgermeister?
They didn't see him with us at the church.
All right. Well, if I was thinking, if we haven't met the Vistani yet, but it sounds like there's a chance that they could be welcoming to us, and as of now, at least, we haven't done anything to that I'm aware of to make them hate us. If we need to, we could always try to move him there and see if that would be a safe place for him.
I mean, so far the Vistani that we have met that have been nice to us are the ones that were exiled.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. Well, we just need to keep our ears open over the next couple of days and see. Make sure we're as comfortable as we can. I don't want to lose him. Or you.
She gives you and gives you a hard look where she doesn't even want to mention it.
Yeah. Robin just kind of nods and goes, right, we should get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are
Right.
we all going to sleep in the same room, really?
No, like it's a big manor house. Like they used to have like servant quarter. Like they used to have servants. They used to have like Downtown Abbey shit. Like this used to be like a really nice house. But it's just the three of them now. Like they have no servants. They have no guards. They have nothing. Yeah.
Should we try to wake Wayne and have you tried the garlic to see if it has any effects?
Well, Irene just said 12 hours. I think it's best just let Wayne sleep it out, man. We'll have him eat some garlic in the
I looked at
morning.
Ismark and say, "Can you pass me a clove?"
He tosses you. I'm trying to remember. I think it's called a head of garlic, right?
Yeah, it's called a head.
Yeah,
Head
yeah.
is- head is
Or
the
a
whole-
bulb,
the whole
or a
thing.
bulb. Yeah, yeah. He'll
Head is the
toss
whole
you.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's gonna toss you a whole chain of garlic. Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna.
He said
Gotcha.
that's good. That's good stuff too. I put that shit in everything.
Where we come from, we always say it's good for your blood, so I guess it makes sense.
Irenia says, but Anne, seriously though, like you'd make such a cool vampire. You'd say because you're already like so big. That if you were like a vampire on top of that, oh, that'd be so rad. But I understand why you wouldn't want. that to happen. I actually, it'd be terrifying if you turned into a vampire. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, let's hope.
If Wayne was vampire, I feel like we'd probably be able to take a bit of the same.
So, and some of the stories where back where I'm from, they are stories of vampires that like really pretty men. They sparkle.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
like sparkle, man.
yeah.
Your vampires sparkle.
Some of them. There's also vampires that are like I guess werewolves.
Your vampires are also werewolves.
Well, there's this. I think Dan used to tell me. He used to play some game called World of Darkness or something like that. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of vampires
Oh.
in.
Maybe they were just like druids or something. Because druids, they're like they could turn into animals and like all sorts of crazy powers like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of why it's so dangerous to travel to Valakai, because the druids, they're like prowling the wilds.
See,
Yeah. They have all these like plants that are evil, and they like hunt people down for like sacrifices and ceremonies and stuff.
seems very dangerous to travel anywhere here.
But it won't be after we make it to Valakai together and we open up the trade routes again.
Okay.
Because you, Anne, you're a hero. And that's what heroes do. That's probably why you got pulled into this world. To do something great.
We'll see. I'm just hoping I can keep my family safe and go home one day. I have to be a hero to do that, I guess. That's what I'll have to do. But
Well, I have it pretty easy in the protecting family department. My dad and my brother are like both badasses, so.
yeah, I can tell.
Well, I'm really tired. Anyways, these are your rooms. I'm sorry there's nothing fancy. I will grab you all the extra blankets that they have that haven't been used to um, do medicine and wrap bodies.
Thanks.
And she basically sets you guys up with terrible accommodations. It was
Yeah.
actually much nicer at the tavern than at the manor house.
As soon as we get in and like she's left and there's a spot and it's gonna pass out.
Okay, just fall to the ground from blood loss and everything else. Okay. Does anyone else have any late night activities? Else, play will pass to the morning.
I'm assuming that Wayne still is not woken up since.
Oh yeah, everyone would be sound asleep by the time you wake up, and then at that point you might just keep sleeping. You know, like if you have any kind of biorhythm or anything like that, or you might wake up confused in a strange place. How do you want to play it?
Usually sleeping through, that's what? It's Constitution?
Yeah. Constitution is generally how good you sleep. So you could roll that. Just a Constitution save. That's for camping out in the wilds and stuff like that. Oh wow. Yeah, I would say that you don't sleep very well at all. So yeah, you would probably wake up alarmed and thinking that you were about to die, because that's kind of the last thing you remember. Or you might have been sort of trapped in a memory or a dream or a nightmare. And then you sort of just kind of like snapped awake. It is dark. It is chilly. no indoor heating or anything. And
Is there no light?
I would assume there probably isn't any lights because they're low on resources, so they would have probably doused any candles once everybody was asleep. I would say that you would probably be in the same room as Henry actually just volunteered because he's actually only has the concussion. He volunteered to stay down in the basement to just keep an eye on Periwinkle. I don't know, Chris, if you would join him down in the basement, or if you would
No,
stay by Wayne
because
so that he has somebody.
because being in the presence of Periwinkle upsets him. I would not be down with Henry.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
love that. I picture I'd be kind of like slouched against the wall, probably watching after Wayne.
Given your backstory and your situation, as soon as he stirs, I would assume you would stir. Out of like reflex
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and a
Chris
little bit of
definitely
fear and
does
everything.
not
Yeah.
sleep very well. He has nightmares. And stuff.
Okay. So
Okay.
so Wayne wakes up wide-eyed, possibly from a bad dream he can't remember.
Yeah, and he is freaking the fuck out because
Hey.
one of his fears is the dark. And if
Oh
it's
yeah,
black and
there's no street lamps, there's no nothing. Yeah.
so
Hey,
last thing
chill out, man.
I
Everything's fine, bro.
can't see.
Yeah,
You have your phone on you?
Wayne didn't bring a phone. He left it in
Oh
the car.
shit! Damn, because he was really embracing that low-tech retreat. Okay, yeah. Okay. Chris, you do know that there are candles in the room.
Yeah, I'll grab one of the candles and I'll flick my Bic.
Okay.
And I'll light the candle.
Is that Bic one of your modern day items?
If I've been saying I've had it this whole time, so if you'd like it to be,
then
it
yeah, it would definitely need to be.
Okay, can we upgrade it to a Zippo then?
A Zippo, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, he flicks
All right.
open his Zippo and he lights a candle.
Okay.
It's like, you don't gotta worry, man. We're in the Burger Master's house.
Last thing I remember, we were fighting that fucking thing, and
Yeah, it ran away after you poured all that holy water on it.
did it kill it?
No, it's out there. But you probably saved everyone's life, man.
If I'd saved everyone's life to be dead. Darn it.
I'm sorry, what?
If I'd really saved everyone's life. Ow, my neck.
Yeah, it bit you pretty good.
Ah.
We tried to patch it up, but we had to cut away some of the skin. I wouldn't touch it.
Ah. Oh, jeez. Well, I guess that's character acting roles for me moving forward. Oh, wow. No, I was saying if I'd really saved everyone, it would have died. We wouldn't be dealing with it again. Instead, it's still out there. Doing God knows what.
There you go with that hero shit again, man. Just be
I'm
grateful.
not saying we go and hunt it. I'm just saying. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Just
Hey, do me a favor, eat this, and Chris is gonna toss him a clove of garlic.
garlic? Really?
Just trust me. Just take a bite of it and tell me what you think about it.
Okay. I'm not eating the skin though, and
Yeah,
Wayne is going
you don't gotta eat the skin.
And Wayne is going to proceed to rip a clove of garlic out of the bulb and remove the skin. Look at it hesitantly, look back at Chris, and he's going to pop it in his mouth and start chewing on it.
Mm.
And all that garlic is not, even for an uninfected human, is not going to be great.
Yeah, it is very bitter. It is foul. your first instinct is that he's maybe pranking you, or he didn't realize that he threw you like a rotten piece of garlic. Like, it tastes so disgusting.
Wayne's gonna try keep chewing, and he's just gonna reach a point where he's just gonna turn and spit it out on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, the lingering aftertaste, it's just horrible. It's like car battery acid in your mouth.
Oh, that is gross.
I mean, what'd you not like about it?
It tastes off, like it's rotten, man. I mean, you could. Wayne's gonna pull the bowl up to his nose and smell it. It's like, is this gone bad? What are you trying to have me eat, man?
Look, man, it's all we got. You should just get some rest, all right?
I'll try.
Chris isn't gonna sleep the rest of the night. He's just gonna kind of stay in the dark, watching Wayne.
All right, Chris, I will need a Constitution save from you in the morning.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you want it hidden? Well, I guess I'm gonna know, right?
yeah, you'll know if you manage to sleep or not, or not sleep, but if you're holding on. Yeah, like the DC is a 10, so you would be gaining some exhaustion and no benefits from a long rest.
All right.
All right, but you do keep an eye on him, and Wayne, I'm assuming that you do fall back asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. The rest of you, it is totally up to you how you sleep that night. You would be able to gain the benefits of a long rest. And you would be able to gain a stack of well rested. And then all the things that happen on a long rest, such as one wound going away, would happen. You are welcome to attempt a Constitution saving throw DC 15 to see if a second wound can be removed per our documentation for that.
Can
under
I
recovery rules.
roll hit dice like I benefited from a short rest?
Yes, you can do that. And as a very clever in Daybreak figured out, you can technically, if you have broken bones and things that require dedicated healing, you can put the healing that you would gain from healing surges into that.
Crash, quick question. With the necrotic damage that I suffered fighting the vampire, is that something that...
Oh, that will go away on the long rest.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So the damage from that bite, it lasts until you finish a long rest. So any sort of negatives to your HP from the vampire fight would come back. The other stuff from wounds and everything else would not.
I accidentally sent that Constitution save private GM. Did I lose a wound?
Oh, yeah, you got a 16. Okay. So well done.
So that's 2 wounds gone.
Now I have to clear all my exhaustion before I can start clearing wounds, right?
Let's see. You need to wounds recover 1 wound after each successful long rest. After completing a long rest with modest accommodation, a character may roll a DC. I don't know if this is actually modest. We'll say it is. It's not great though. It's barely a house accommodations. If successfully recover from the second wound, if they have one, this counts as their long rest activity. Use of a healer's kit by someone else proficient, blah, 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 magic. You cannot recover from long-term injuries if you have any wounds. So the exhaustion shouldn't stop you from recovering.
I think you just lose 1 for taking a short,
yeah,
long rest.
you'd actually lose. Yeah, you'd actually lose an exhaustion. What you can't gain is you can't gain well rested as long as you still have exhaustion. So if you had multiple stacks of exhaustion and you rested and then you still had exhaustion, you wouldn't get well rested. Does that make sense? You only get well rested if you wake up in the morning and you don't have any exhaustion, because it's counterintuitive to somehow be exhausted but also well rested.
And we lose 1 exhaustion per long rest.
Per long rest, yep.
Okay.
So this is important. So in the morning when like everybody's like rousting and going to
Yeah,
breakfast,
yeah.
Chris is gonna kind of like hang back and like be like, "Hey Wayne, stay here with me a minute." And if he complies to stay, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
garlic test him again. I'm gonna be like, "Hey man,
Okay.
I need you to eat this.
Again with this shit?
Look, man, just eat the garlic, bro."
Are you offering me the same same bulb from last night, or is it a different one?
I'll grab out a fresh bulb. It looks pristine.
All right. I don't know what kind of army hazing crap this is, but all right.
Okay.
And Wayne will do the same process. He'll peel a bulb of garlic out, and he will pop it in his mouth and start chewing.
Oh, it tastes even worse than the one you had in the middle of the night.
Okay. In that case, he's not even trying to stomach. He's just gonna spit it right out.
Yeah.
Wayne, if something bad was happening to you, would you want to know?
I think I already do.
Well, here's the thing, man.
And Wayne's gonna sit down very heavily on a bed or chair or something, and just get this 1,000-yard stare on his face.
So we will be going to Valakai. From what I know, you probably have some kind of blood disease. I don't know if you're turning like they do in the books, but if you want a chance to get healed, whenever someone gives you garlic, you look like you goddamn enjoy it. Because if they find out, I don't know what they'll do to you, man.
Okay, now you are trained in medicine, so this is a game where we don't just have a paladin to slap somebody on the ass for 5 points to get rid of disease. So diseases have time that it takes, and they have stages that they progress through. And then the idea is that you want to provide as much care for the person as possible, so that when they make these saves, they succeed. And so with the diseases, what I do is I have the disease essentially roll against your Constitution save. So rather than calling on you to make a Constitution save and hinting to you that you've been exposed to a disease or something, I've been checking. Like when you guys fought the Blood Beast, that was like I was constantly checking to see if any of you got diseased. There's a guy in Daybreak, he's having a real bad time with it. Yeah, so for this, the onset was 12 hours to start showing symptoms. But you're gonna need to check with Irenia if you want to know more about the disease so that you know the best way to treat it, because she just kind of mentioned that they get it and they get pale and weak, and that some people die from it and then they rise as something. It kind of sounded like something less than a vampire, like a vampire zombie, essentially, just a blood crazed corpse.
A terminal.
I mean, I'm sure your body could fight it off. I don't know enough about it, but we're gonna try and fashion something to take a look.
Damn it.
Maybe some kind of microscope. I can see what's actually going on. But unless
I
you
don't know
want
if-
this to be a thing, man, I don't know.
I don't want this to be a thing. I'm a danger to myself and others, man. I might as well
I'll
just
keep-
blow my fucking brains out.
I'll
The
keep-
liability.
Look, man, I'll keep a close eye on you, bro.
Do the others know?
No, not unless you tell them you don't like the garlic. I haven't told anybody. I'm leaving it up to you.
And what's stopping Eastmark from just caving my fucking skull in as soon as he hears that I'm tainted?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm worried is gonna happen if someone tries to give you garlic and you don't. You act. If you give them the same reaction you gave me, I don't know what Eastmark will do. Irene, you might be able to help, but she's only got one of those bottles of holy water. I kind of pissed her off, and she didn't want to use it on you. And I'm sorry for that.
Can't change it now. I don't know whether to. I don't know what to do, Chris. I don't want to kill anybody. Not like this.
I won't let you, bro. And Chris looks right at his rifle.
You hear heavy footsteps in the hallway. And Eastmark comes in view and says, has anyone seen Anne? I'm going to go over to the tavern and check in on Daniel. I thought she might want to come with me in case he is nervous with just me there.
I haven't seen her since she left.
Okay. Anne, where would you be in the morning?
Probably trying to find a spot that has a lot of space so she can do her morning workout.
Okay.
Through her injuries.
If you're going back to the inn, I left a few things there. Can I go with?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want me to come along, fine. Just if you could get the.
Oh,
that I
that's
was
right.
supposed to-
You didn't hear everything that happened last night. You're formally under arrest.
What?
It's
because of the.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
town's not happy with us.
It was actually your allies' idea, and it seems like the best solution for keeping you safe and out of trouble until we are ready to leave for Valakai. But the town is angry about the church, and they want to see someone punished. So we tell everyone that you're being locked up in the cellar, and then waiting judgment and trial until we get all this sorted out. And then I spoke with my father. We were up very late. He is going to tell the town that in 3 days he is going to announce that as punishment for what you have done, and because you are seeking redemption in the eyes of the village and of the Morning Lord, you have volunteered to lead an expedition to Valakai to reopen the trade routes. And there you have it.
There we have it. Okay. Yeah. If you could bring the loot back, that would be great. And also, Wayne's gonna fish out
And of course, Dunbar. I've already headed over to check on him. But I did leave him at store still, if that's all right. But I will bring, because you are here, I will bring him back when I come back with Daniel.
I guess if he's not needed at the store yet, that's fine. Since you're going to the store, and I don't want this to. I don't want to seem greedy, but it's a tool that I need. And Wayne's going to fish out a bullet from his pocket, one of the few remaining bullets he has left. I know you guys said that other people from other planes of existence, other times have come through here.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a box of these,
All right.
by any chance in his store, it will increase the chances of our being successful.
My father is planning to inventory the store and its wares today. So I will pass this on to him and tell him to keep an eye out.
Thank you.
and
If
any
you're
of those
looking for
feel
anything
helpful.
related to firearms, there are some in Velkai, but of course they originate from Kresik.
I'm sure, but I'm just thinking on the off chance that
Of course,
if
it's
there's
always
a box here,
always worth checking.
because you just never know, like with a hoarder
Oh.
like Bildrath, maybe he had found something and thought, well, I can't use this, but maybe somebody else can, and I can charge him an arm and a leg for it.
Of course. You don't need to explain. I understand.
Sorry.
No worries. All right, I'm gonna go find Anne. Arinia will be looking for you. She's going to check your bandages and your wound. You took a nasty bite, so.
You could tell her we'll be waiting up here.
Sure.
Thanks,
All right.
Smart.
So, Anne,
Mhm.
I gotta ask, Jason, are you also doing morning exercises with Anne, or would Anne be out here by herself? I mean, your body's pretty busted, so are you just like, no, I'm gonna lay here and I'm gonna rest, or what is your deal in the morning?
I'd probably be trying to take it a little easy and
Mm.
doing maybe light exercises, but
Okay.
seeing how I'm so bruised, taking it very light.
And Leo works out with you a lot too, right? So he would probably be kind of helping you, maybe like trying to do like minor physical therapy to help you kind of keep things from seizing up too much until you get the right rest that you need, that sort of thing. All right. And then okay. What about Robin? What would Robin be up to in the morning?
I think, given everything, she would be sticking reasonably close to Anne as well.
Okay.
So maybe she's out doing, like, maybe not the full-on exercise thing, but I don't know, maybe some yoga or something.
Okay. All right. So, while you guys are out front doing this, Leo, Robin, Anne, and Jason, I'll take you guys over to the map. You see the old woman with her cart, and she's just kind of pushing the carts in this early day. And she seems to be kind of on her way out of town, because again, the Burgomaster's house is kind of on the south end of town. But she sees you there, and she kind of stops, and then looks thoughtful, and then starts to wheel her cart towards the property. And she says, "Oh, good morning. I am getting ready to head back home. I finished my business here in town, and now I'm going to head home while the daylight is brightest. You, would you like some pastries before I leave? Perhaps a meat pie or a confection after your workout?
Um,
Oh, when you said you finished your business, I was thinking you sold all your meat pies.
Oh, yes. Well, I always keep a few extras just in case.
um,
I have one that's particularly lovely. It's vanilla. And she produces just a beautiful vanilla cupcake in like its own little box, and it's got like kind of a golden yellow frosting.
it's gonna stand up and look at it and then uh, shake her head. Says, "Sorry, no, thank you. I'm
Oh,
fine."
well, why don't you take it for little Daniel then? Hmm? He has been having the worst dreams. I was staying at the tavern as well, and oh my, the screams in the night just kept me up. They certainly did. If you want him to get some nice sleep, perhaps one of my pastries could give him some sweet dreams.
And we'll turn around and look at everybody. Um,
It seemed
uh,
Jason wouldn't exactly trust what she said.
yeah.
Huh?
Does it seem like she made any sort of lie?
Yeah, give me an insight.
I guess mainly on whether or not she was actually at the inn.
Yeah, sure. Give me an insight. Hmm. I mean, where else would she stay? She's from out of town.
I don't know, man. Sleepy old lady.
Yeah, if
Pastries.
Anne's looking around,
Yeah.
like Robin just like shakes her head no
Yeah.
at you.
No.
Hmm. Oh, well. I just try to spread a little joy in these dark times.
That's thoughtful of you.
Hmm.
You don't have far to travel to get home, do you?
Oh, it's very far. Very far indeed. My bakery is located outside of Valakai.
That's awful long ways for you to travel alone.
Hmm. She reaches for the many holy symbols and feathers and bone scrimshaws and coins and bangles that hangs from her neck. It's very similar to that guy from the Mummy movie that collected all the holy symbols.
Oh, Benny, yes.
Yeah, Benny. Yeah, yeah. And she says, "I have my talismans to protect me." It's a long way to go, but I'm a woman on a mission to spread sweet dreams. And I won't let a little thing like a long walk and old bones get in the way of that.
Well, We might see you sometime in Valakai, maybe.
Oh, Anne, dearie. I guarantee it. And she puts the cupcake back in the box and tucks the box back into her cart and just starts to push the cart away.
Did we ever introduce ourselves to this lady?
Yeah, like the very first day we came into town, there was like a big conversation out on the middle of the street.
I don't think I ever told her my name.
Oh,
I don't remember if Arena said something to her.
Maybe Irina said something. Yeah, she's really creepy.
I know Ismark didn't say anything to her.
Everyone else, you need to be inside. Once my father has made his announcement, we don't want people seeing you out and about. You're under arrest and you're all in the cells in the basement. Anne, I'd like you to come with me. Plan to go pick up Daniel, transfer him here. But I don't want him to panic.
Okay.
The boy has been through much, so I think a familiar face will help.
Mm-hmm.
How is your neck doing?
How is my neck doing?
I mean, it hurts like a fucking bitch. Like,
Yeah.
Your throat almost got ripped out.
Yeah.
You lost like a shitload of blood, and then they cut away all the flesh while you were still alive, and then they had leeches feast on it. Then they burned it.
Okay, so it feels more like pain, and not sickness.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said he hands you some garlic.
All right, she'll put it in one of her hands and try and peel it with her teeth. Okay. And then crush it.
What's Anne's normal take on garlic?
She thinks it's pretty good as a person who likes to work out and stuff like that, and having something to help your blood. She it's okay.
Yeah, no, it's bitter and sweet, like raw garlic is, and salty. It tastes fine. It tastes pretty good.
Okay. Tastes like garlic.
It's a lot, right? Your sinus is clear like instantly. Yeah.
Her face is scrunched up, and she's like, "Ugh." I mean, it's garlic, but it's garlic.
Okay. He puts a very strong hand on your shoulder, and he gives it like a squeeze.
My neck.
Yeah, like he gives a little squeeze, and he says, "That is very good." I was worried. All right, come on.
Okay. Is it okay if Robin comes?
I already told Wayne he couldn't come.
All right, don't worry about it. Let's go.
Your family. All right, Robin, you come too.
Yeah, Robin will nod and follow along.
I'll be honest, the real reason I didn't have Wayne come is he talks too much.
He does.
Alright. So, Leo turns to you, Jason, and says, I don't even know, man. I don't even know anymore.
It doesn't seem like it's gonna get much better.
It's gotta get better. How does it get any worse?
Well, the travel to Valakai will be a while. Are you up for that, or?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, do you want me to stay here? I feel kind of bad leaving the kindly old man like all alone in this big house with a bunch of angry villagers or whatever.
No, I think I prefer you come along with us. I think they're gonna leave Dan here, though.
Oh wow, Dan's here. I mean, what do we got to worry about?
Yeah, if he can get over his trauma.
Alright, so the camera would cut back inside to the bedroom, where Irenia appears in the doorway and says, Wayne, are you there? Oh, there you are. How did you sleep last night?
Not particularly well, but I slept.
Okay. How is your, I need to take a look at your wound, if I can just get in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And, can you, this is going to sound really silly, can you just chew on this garlic real quick for me?
Sure. No problem.
You see, there's like a blood illness that you could sometimes get if you're bit by a vampire. It's very small chance that you get it. Well, it's very small chance that it is very bad. You might feel sick for a little while, but as long as you get rest and you eat a lot of meat, you should be okay. Or fish will be even better. And then it should clear up. Even if you are sick, it should clear up pretty quick, like a day or so. Just need to get lots of rest. So they were just going to check to see if there's any sort of infection. And you'll have like an aversion to the taste of the garlic, and that is how we know that you have maybe the onset of the disease. But don't get frightened. It's not like super bad.
What happens if someone does get it really bad?
Okay, so both of you,
So-
whatever she just said is very convincing off of your passive insights.
Still, I don't
Yeah.
want her to know my business, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
try and use Poker Face. It's
Okay.
an ability that I have.
Sweet.
Let me throw that up there.
And to you, Chris, she says, well, I mean, if you did get really sick from it and you died, you would come back as like sort of like a vampire, but like a zombie vampire sort of thing. And so that's why we just want to get this taken care of just in case.
Gotcha.
All right, so Wayne is going to chew
Mm-hmm.
on the garlic, just to mash it up, and he's going to try and swallow it. What do you need me to roll, like a deception or a performance? Or
Give me a deception or performance, and then also give me a constitution save to see if you could keep it down after you swallow.
All right. So he's an actor, so he's
So
going to
you would
try
have
and lean
you would have
into.
you would advantage. I give you advantage to both of these because they're part of the same action.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you need me to roll them blind or?
Well, they're the one will roll blind, and you'll know if you throw up or not. So.
All right.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Damn. All right. Maybe you were wrong, Chris. Holy shit. He loves that shit.
And then you said con save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Okay, yeah. Oh man. Oh, so fucking good. Wow. A little bit of garlic in the morning, just clear up them sinuses. Just amazing. And she says, "Oh, I'm so relieved. Oh my gosh. Oh, Wayne, I was so worried. Okay.
What would we have had to do if he didn't like it?
Oh, well, we would have just like had to load him up with like a ton of meat and like proteins, and then he would just have to get lots of like fluids, and then he would just have to basically like lay there like in bed all day, like doing nothing but resting, and then we would want to like keep checking in on him and like making sure he was comfortable and you know, just doing everything we could to help his body fight off the infection. And then hopefully after a night of sleep, he would wake up and he would feel better. And it would have ravaged his system horribly in the night, but then he would have fought it and he'd be back to normal. But like if he did it, then his body would start to like sort of like be overcome by fatigue and exhaustion and like that sort of thing. And then we'd have to try again, and then eventually it would get harder and harder, and then he would just like not be able to have healthy blood anymore, and then it would be very bad. But we don't have to worry about that. So this is really good. This is great news.
And like in case we run into another vampire and you're
Mhm.
not here and something
Mhm.
like that does happen, is there like any kind of potion or remedy we could give him?
Oh,
Would it
yes.
just be the
So the holy water that they talked about, you would actually use a syringe and you inject it into the necrotic flesh around the wound, and that will pretty much just stop any chance of infection right there.
even like 12 hours in?
I think it would help a lot, maybe, to do that. But you kind of want to get it right away before it has a chance to spread. And I felt really bad about like getting so angry last night. There was a lot going on, and I was upset about the church and everything else. So then, you just get mad
Look,
at you, Chris, because sometimes you just feel like I don't know. It just feels like you only care about yourself, and you're always looking out for yourself, and it just doesn't seem like the kind of thing that like hero would do. But it's fine. It's not.
uh,
It's fine. But
well,
it doesn't matter because he's okay.
Chris looks hard at Wayne.
All right. Well, I think Anne already left. Oh, I wanted to check her band-aids. Well, I have some errands to run around town. And then I'm going. My father is going to look for alchemy kit, and then we're going to use that to sort of replenish what supplies I have, and then you and I are going to try and look at those rats today. I hope they're excited. They're very stinky for fermenting in the sack. Oh, and we have to cremate Father Donovich's body today too.
Yeah, I'm very tired, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, you look very tired. Were you up all night worrying? Oh, you were worried about him and you stayed up all night. Oh, Chris, that was so sweet.
Something like that.
All right, see you later. And she heads off down the hallway. And she seems to have a pep in her step, knowing that Wayne is okay. As she's leaving and her footsteps are appearing, Wayne, you hear your stomach just turn over and just make horrible farting, gurgling sounds.
Wayne's gonna try and keep it down.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I say we got a couple of options. Seems like they won't like overreact if you tell them, but it might get you the best care you could get.
Yeah, but she's never gonna trust me again after the performance I just gave her.
Well, I guess just eat a bunch of meat and fish and just don't move.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's gonna take some time before, like, your body's got a chance to fight it off at least.
Well, it sounds like the next 24 hours are key, and guess it's a good thing we're under house arrest. Can't do too much. Probably the thing to do. And feel free to disagree. But I'm thinking if I can just hold up somewhere with the loot and just do nothing for a while, maybe keep Periwinkle company. He likes me. I'm sure it'll be fine. That way, everyone else can do other more productive things than watching an
Well,
adult that got pushed too far.
I mean, if it gets bad, she might be willing to give you that holy water. Or,
Yeah.
let's
give it 24 hours. Let's try and I'll just say I've got a hankering for steak or something.
Look,
And I just have my neck ripped out. Maybe they'll feel bad and they'll give it to me. And
look, I know
we'll
you
see
don't
how it
like
goes.
my ideas, but I know where she
Also,
had
Chris,
that bottle.
your understanding of the diet that she's suggesting is that instinctively, through trial and error in their primitive ass medicine, they understand that he has an iron deficiency from the blood
Okay.
loss, and then that the blood illness would be, it could be combated by boosting the iron levels. I mean, that's generally why somebody would tell you to eat a bunch of
Yeah,
like meat
gotcha.
and fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I could just.
So across town, um, Eastmark, Robin, and Anne, you guys go and you pick up Dunbar from the store. Dunbar was a good boy and he held it all night, but he immediately pisses right on the front door of the shop, and then just drops the fattest load right on the doorstep. Eastmark looks down at it and then he just like kicks it a little bit with the side of his boot off to the side of the doorstep, and apparently that's good enough in Barovia.
This is to strike Robin as a doggy bag type of town. Like
Right?
there's
Well,
no picking up.
you haven't actually seen that many dogs in the town, Robin, which
Yeah.
has led you to maybe think that they might have eaten all their dogs. Because
Sure.
they are hard up for resources.
She will keep a close eye on Dunbar then.
Okay, yeah, I mean it's starting to kind of dawn on you that there's just not a lot of stuff. All right, so as you guys make it over to the tavern, I'm assuming you just go up the side entrance, or do you want to risk going in to the front? Eastmark definitely seems like he'd be more than content to
side.
just go up the side door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
side.
following Ismark's lead.
Okay. All right. So as you guys, I'm assuming Robin has a key to the room. Opens the door. Yeah, you were the last one in the room when they first got it. Yeah. So you open the side door, and as soon as you enter, you smell cat piss and cat poop because the kitten was left here on its nest. All right. So you enter, and there is cat piss smell and little cat poops everywhere. The cat is on Dan, and it seems to be kind of on him and sort of biting at his face a little bit, not like in an aggressive way, but in sort of a like chomping kind of way, like pulling on his lip with its little mouth and like shaking its head and stuff.
Robin will run over as soon as she sees. She's like, "Oh shit, I've heard of this." She's gonna like grab the cat away.
Okay. As you do, the cat kind of like extracts claws, and kind of holds on to Dan, and you kind of pull, and it turns Dan. And as he turns to face you, you see that his eyes are wide open, and his mouth is wide open in a frozen scream of terror. And he is not breathing.
Dan. And Anne's gonna try and shake him awake.
He is very rigid and just seems to be like stuck in like a fetal position, with his fist balled against his chest and his eyes open wide and his mouth open in a scream of horror.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? She turns to Eastmark.
Eastmark looks at him, and Dunbar is kind of crying, just kind of making like sad, like mewling noises. And Eastmark approaches and checks for a pulse, and he's really, really quiet. And then he says, And I think he's dead. Oh, and sorry, if this was a murder mystery, this door right here was closed when you guys came in. You guys opened the door there, but this door was already closed when you came in.
And falls to her knees.
Okay.
Robin's going to kind of go around and kind of do that thing where she kind of pulls up beside, kind of like partially beside, partially behind, just kind of like drops down and puts her arms around Anne as well. She's going to look up at Ismark and she's going to say, that's not... Based on how he looks, that's not just falling asleep.
No.
Something's happened here. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I don't know. Erinia might be able to figure it out, or your friend Chris, he is doctor. I am so sorry, and I don't know what has happened here.
Robin's going to look at Anne. She's going to say, we...
Anne's gonna stand up and pick up Dan.
He is disappointingly light in your giant arms.
We have to go. I have to go show him to Arena and Chris. We have to go now, right? We have to hurry.
Yes. Let's cover his face a bit. Here, and he kind of like tucks a blanket around him in your arms and kind of makes like a little like concealing hood with the blanket. And he's, oh right, the loot. Fuck.
And
And
Robin
will also see the cloak by it as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a fucking cloak. All right.
Robin's going to say, Ismark, can you trust me for 5 or 10 minutes? Just I want to look around this room before we leave, just in case.
Robin, I don't want you to have the wrong idea. I understand that when you face something terrifying, there is fear, and that even if the lantern falling was not an accident, you were well and truly out of your depth, and you could have all died. And I would have felt terrible, because I agreed to send you there, which is foolish of me. A church is a building. It can be remade. But your lives... it's fine. Take the time that you need.
She's gonna nod. I'll come back as soon as I can. She's gonna look over and she's gonna go with him. I'm gonna look around here and see what I can find.
So, these three, you keep the kitten with you?
I mean, if Ismark would be willing to take him, or if Anne would. I mean, Anne's got her hands.
Alright, Ismark just grabs the kitten by the scruff of the neck and puts it inside his like shirt, and then they head out.
Yeah.
Dunbar wants to stay with you.
Dunbar can stay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Unless Wayne, you would want him to return.
No, Dunbar can stay. I think Dunbar has a rudimentary understanding, and I feel that, much like Wayne, he would want to help, So he will start sniffing around, trying to help Robin.
Yeah, and Robin would be like, "Yeah, that's right, Dunbar. Look around, see if there's anything out of the ordinary. Not the cat piss, not the shit. Like look around for anything weird, not cat related. Anything else."
Dunbar, go ahead and give me a survival.
All right, let me bring a sheet up.
So Dunbar, he sniff all around the bed. He climb up in the bed and he sniff the bed. He hop down and he sniff. And he sniff all around. And
now,
then
would you say would this be like a? Well, it's not a perception. You specifically said survival.
Oh yeah,
but
he's tracking. Yeah, he's tracking.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he actually starts sniffing like the wall and scratching at the wall and like looking up towards the ceiling.
Robin will follow his gaze and pointing and try to see what he's seeing. Is there anything on the ceiling, or?
It is the ceiling of a old-timey common room.
And we're the top floor, right? Like there's not a.
No, you're only on the second floor. This is like a four-story building.
Did we know what's above us? Did we ever get the layout of that?
Never really had an occasion to go any higher.
All right. Can Robin? She's going to test the door over here to see if it's locked or unlocked.
It is still locked.
Okay. And then she's going to, look around and see if she can spot anything in this room as well.
Sure. Give me a perception or investigation.
Yeah, perception's better.
Okay.
Choice.
Other than the cat piss all over the place and the cat poops all over the place, you do see that the mattress that he was on is stained with urine. Like the mattress that Daniel had. Nothing else in the room seems to have been turned over, stolen, or messed with. His clothes are neatly folded in this chest at the foot of the bed.
Robin is really leery of going into this inn, but I think she is going to. She's gonna say, Dunbar, is there something above us?
He bjorks.
Yeah. She's gonna walk over to this door,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna say, okay, but we have to go really quietly. And she's gonna open the door, because she has a key.
Yeah. There you go.
And
the stairs to the next floor are over here.
Okay. She will try to move over there.
Oh, I could just teleport you to the next scene.
Yeah,
It's all
okay.
good. All right. Let's see. I think you've got camera bat with you. That makes it good. All right. Let's see. Okay, so you come up the stairs here, and Dunbar begins sniffing around. David, if you could give me another survival check from Dunbar. Oh my. Alright. He sniffs in a circle. He's sniffing and scratching the wall right here, which you realize is where he was sniffing and scratching down in your room. Each floor of this inn is completely different shape, because it's got that weird, like, Harry Potter world kind of architecture. Then he starts sniffing, and he goes to this door right here.
Robin's going to examine the wall and floor area, kind of leaning over that door.
Give me a perception or investigation. Okay. You do not see anything unusual.
She's going to walk over the door and kind of listen to see if she hears anything.
Okay. Give me another perception check. You hear nothing on the other side of the door. In fact, you hear the sounds of people kind of starting their day 2 floors down in the tavern area, more than you would hear anything on the other side of the door. Because remember, these floors are just like wood slat floors, and therefore the ceiling is also just a wood slat ceiling. There's no layers of insulation between the floors or anything.
She is going to reach out as carefully as she can and just try to turn the doorknob without making any noise.
Sure. Give me a stealth check. Okay. It makes a loud rattling sound. It is locked.
She's going to step away and kind of listen for a second to see if she hears anybody respond to that noise she just made.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
She'll step back over to it and like try the key.
Okay. Can you guys see, or is this like all theater of the mind for you guys?
I can see.
Oh, okay.
At least the stream can see.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's Camera Bat. Okay. All right. He's so small, it's hard to keep track of him. All right, so you're gonna head over to the door and then try to peek through the door?
No, she has that key, like the one that goes to the room. She's gonna see if
it is not a match. It goes in, but it kind of like clonk clonk as you try to turn it.
Yeah. She's gonna look over at Dunbar, and if there's one more floor, she's gonna go up another floor, I guess, to see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just to see if there's anything up one more level.
Here, I'll take you to the next scene.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. So there's a long corridor, and there are a couple of doors off this corridor.
She's just gonna look at Dunbar. Anything up here, boy?
All right. Go ahead and give me another perception from Dunbar.
Survival or perception?
It's still survival. He's trying to track. So. He just kind of bjorks and kind of sniffs, and seems to be heading back towards the stairs.
Yeah. She'll just kind of walk down to the end of this hallway.
There are more stairs that lead even further up, and this high in this building, you can feel it like swaying, like you're on a fucking pirate ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, the building actually kind of has a sway to it because it's so poorly constructed and somehow still standing this tall.
Yeah. She'll not go up. She's just gonna, if Dunbar's not hitting on anything, she has no reason to think there's anything up here, so she'll go back down.
Okay. All right.
She's gonna look at Dunbar, and she's gonna say, I clicked the thing accidentally. She's gonna say, well, do we try to find a manager or someone to see if they'll let us in, or do we just come back?
He barks the
later?
affirmative to the first thing, and then he barks the same affirmative to the second thing.
Yeah, they're both good ideas, I know, in different ways. They're both terrible ideas in different ways. She kind of thinks for a minute. Does the room happen to have like a number on it, or like any identifying mark that we would know like what room to tell someone?
So the door to the south opens, and a half-dressed Radu Radovich looks out bleary-eyed at you and says, "What is all this noise this early in the morning? Do you not know who I am?"
Radu, yes. Radu.
Oh, you heard of me. Eh?
Oh,
I'm one of Ergol's right-hand men. Eh?
She'll nod. I'm sorry that we disturbed you. I had a question. Do you know who was staying in the room across from you?
The lady with the pastries. You see her sometimes in the WotC. She sells the pastries, the meat pies, and all that.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly who you mean. Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, alright, sure. Hey, you're some adventurer, huh?
She's gonna kind of shrug. I mean, no.
I'm looking for a girl that's gone missing. Maybe you could help me.
I mean, I can keep my eyes open and see if I can spot anything. But, you know.
Her name is Arabelle. She's about yay high, maybe 9, 10 years old. Very beautiful, tan skin and whitish hair.
Is she a relative or?
She's the daughter of Ergal. She has gone missing.
I understand. Well, yeah, we can. You know, I'll definitely keep my eyes open. Where can we? Does she have a name?
Arabelle is her name.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely keep our eyes open.
You're a good person. Thank you. I will be here if you find anything new. I'm supposed to search the Barovia Valley.
She's gonna nod. Well, you know, if we spot anything, we'll certainly, certainly try to do whatever we can for her.
Appreciate it. That would, if you find her and help and bring her to me, I will tell Ergol of your assistance. He will reward you greatly. He has treasures from many lands, even the blue jeans.
She's gonna laugh at that. That's good to know. And you're here in the inn in Barovia.
But he is located in the Great Vistani camp outside of WotC. No one is allowed in the town of WotC anymore, even the Vistani, who the Dark Lord gives permission to come and go as they please anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I tell you what, that burgomaster over there in WotC, he's fucking up.
What's happening over in Valakai?
Oh, he has the whole town locked down. He's not letting anybody in or out. He's spent a fortune stockpiling food and supplies, and then he just closed the town. Ergal is pretty upset about it. It was already a bunch of racists who hate the Vistani, but now we can't even go into the city to buy things, to trade, to perform, to fuck, to drink. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, that sounds. I mean, I know, trade between Barovia and Valakai is so important, and.
Well, that's the fucked up thing, is he's still allowing the shipments of wine to come in from the Wizards of Wine. But he hasn't redistributed them anywhere. He's keeping them all for himself.
They're just hoarding and keeping the city on lockdown.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, that Baron Vargas Valkolovich is going to meet a bad end. You turn on the Vistani, you may as well have spit in Lord Strahd's face.
She's gonna nod. I mean, from everything I've heard, I'd like to go to the Vistani camp at some point.
Well, there is one nearby at Serpool, but they were not any help at all to find Arabelle. I said they would help me look, but they're just saying it now. They're not doing anything.
Why wouldn't they help you?
Well, they said they'd help me, but they haven't heard from them. Hmm?
Ah, I understand.
I asked them why they're lingering in this valley. They wouldn't say. They said something about the Madam Eva told them she's waiting for something. I said, I hope she's waiting for this girl to show up, because I need to bring her home. And then they were like, no, Radu is something different.
I think I've heard of this madam. She's some sort of seer, isn't she? Isn't
Yes, yes. Among the Vistani, the females are the best at seeing the future. And she is the greatest among all Vistani. She is the Vistana who can see the very weave unfolding before her.
Yeah, that sounds very impressive.
Hmm. Yeah. To get your fortune told by her is some very bad curse. But some will risk it anyways for answers.
She sees the future, and she knows what's going to happen to people, and has a connection to magic.
And knowing the future is nothing but trouble. Huh? It's nothing but trouble. How can one enjoy life knowing what is coming, eh?
She's gonna crack a smile. Yeah, I suppose
Only the greedy and the desperate want to see what is coming next. Dr. Radovic, eh? I know what's coming for me today. Big bottle of wine, eh? Maybe a little vodka. We'll see what happens. And of course, I'll look around for Arabelle, of course, but
Yeah, Robin will not. Well, and we will too. We'll keep our eyes open. If we find anything, we'll certainly try to help take care of this girl.
All right, you've been very kind to me. I will remember this. Huh? What is your name?
My name's Robin.
Like the bird, huh?
Just like the bird. Yeah.
It's a beautiful name. Huh? All right. Radu and Robin, huh? As friends. All right. I need to get some more sleep.
Sorry for disturbing you, she says to the door closing.
And you do hear it lock behind it.
Yeah. She's going to nod over at Dunbar and say, "All right, Dunbar, let's go."
Yeah,
And-
Dunbar goes woof, and the subtitle says, "Fuck, that's a lot of plot exposition."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to head downstairs, but she's going to go out through their room again, not through the common area.
All right, fair enough.
And she's gonna head back to. Actually, when they get down to the room, she just wants to look like one more time. Now that she knows it was that old lady, like she wants to see if there's anything in the room. Looking around one more time, that would like.
Sure. Give me one last. This is gonna just be an investigation. Give me one last investigation.
-1.
Okay. As you look around the room, and you're looking for anything that might be out of place.
Yeah, specifically like, especially if it makes her think of this lady.
You, even though I asked for an investigation, you rolled really good on this investigation. You smell the lingering, sweet scent of frosting.
She's gonna look over at the bed and she's gonna say, "I guess," and then take off her sunglasses and say, "It was death by pastry." Put her sunglasses back on. Look over at Dunbar. She doesn't have sunglasses. But she's gonna look over at Dunbar and say, "That's how they'd say it on TV, but it would be funnier than that. I'm just gonna go. Let's get back and tell them what we found."
We have found the number of family members that must die before you start making jokes. Because what else are you gonna do? All right.
I mean, Robin, like she didn't cry. She has no tears left.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, just like
There's a certain point where a person goes from being a person to being an adventurer, and I think that involves a certain amount of breakage. Yeah.
Yeah, she's highly. But yeah, she'll head back to the burgomaster's house.
Okay. So as you head back, where's everybody at this point? And you would arrive home, or not home, but you would arrive at the burgomaster's house carrying Dan. Everyone, I'm assuming, took Ismark's advice and moved inside. And then you would probably catch Kulian getting ready to leave the house as you come back. And he looks like he has a satchel just full of like supplies and things like that. And he's got a serious look on his face. He always serious look on his face. Like he's gonna go and take care of some business. When he sees you, he calls out and says, "Ah, this is the Daniel that I hear."
Where's Irenia?
She's inside. Is
Okay.
something wrong?
I just run past him.
Oh, all right. Well, Ismark, I will be at the shop. And he heads out. Okay. All right. So you hear Irenia down the stairs to the cellar talking to Henry. And I assume you call for her or something?
Yeah,
or?
I'll call.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
call for her. And,
Oh, she says, "Oh, Anne, I wanted to check
Dan,
your bandage."
Something's wrong with Dan.
Oh, fuck. All right, bring him to the dining room. It's still clear from last night.
Okay, I'll bring him.
Let's see. Lay him down on the table. And then she goes to pull the blanket away and sees his face, and she kind of gags a little bit, and like her eyes start tearing up, and she looks terrified, and she looks away, and she looks back at him, and she's like just trying to master her fear right now. And Eastmark says, "Steady. We need to know what happened here. Do you want me to go get Chris?" And she nods. And then Chris, you hear Eastmark calling up the landing from the first floor. Chris, can you come down here? We need this doctor stuff, please.
Chris hands Wayne the plate of ham he was feeding him. Make sure you eat that whole damn thing, brother. And he heads downstairs.
Wayne
What's
continues to shovel ham into his mouth.
Fair enough. Hey, Eastmark says,
What's going on?
Daniel is dead. I'm pretty sure he died of fear, but I'm not sure that Anne wants to hear that, but I'm no doctor. If you could help Irenia, she's pretty upset. It's pretty terrible to look at.
Alright, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so you head into the room, and you see him, and his body is rigid and curled up in like the fetal position, his eyes wide and just dead, and his mouth open in a perpetual rigor mortis frozen scream of terror.
Have you taken a look yet?
I was waiting for you. I mean, I confirmed that he was dead.
Yeah.
But... All right, so
Chris is gonna glance at Anne real quick. Does Anne look like she's been like crying at all, or does she look like she's like trying to stay as like strong as possible?
Her eyes are wide open, like she hasn't blinked since.
Okay, all right.
She has really heavy breathing right now.
Yep, I'll help her examine the body.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a blind medicine if you could.
I'm
you
helping her.
you want her to do it? Oh, okay.
I'm just so tired.
I see. All right. Okay. So you guys start examining the body. Let's see. And after about 10 minutes or so of checking reflexes and things like that, Irenia says, I mean, we need to check for any signs of toxin. You're gonna have to help me get these clothes off of him. I think his body's too rigid. We're just going to have to cut the clothing away. And
This
we're
is
going to look for any sort of puncture wounds, anything that
Yeah.
might have discolored the skin. And and we're going to have to check inside his stomach to make sure he didn't eat something that might have poisoned him.
What do you mean? Check inside his stomach.
I don't
Like
know if
a-
you're going to want to be here for this. We're going to have to cut him open.
and if you want answers, we're gonna have to do an autopsy.
Um, but
We have to see if anything is like swollen inside, like his liver or something, because that might see he might have had something bad to eat. He might have had a bad reaction to something.
Where's Robin at? You should go talk to her.
no, I'll stay.
It can be really gross. Are you
And
sure?
I'll
I
stay.
insist.
I'll stay.
All right.
Okay. And you watch as they cut away your brother's clothes, and with a damp cloth, they kind of clean his body. And as they do, they are looking for any sort of punctures or bruises or dappled skin.
Swelling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything like that. Seems other than injuries that he got in the death house, it doesn't seem like anything's wrong. Irenia looks to you, and you guys go about the task of cutting away the skin of his abdomen and kind of just digging in there. And you look at things, and like liver's not swollen up. In the stomach, he just has some undigested like bread. And at the end of the hour of work, your mutual diagnosis is he died in his sleep from fear, like he had a heart attack essentially.
I'll take some of the inside of like the undigested bread as like samples and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of like look to Irenia to like deliver the news because Chris
And
knows he doesn't have the
yeah,
right words.
Irenia looks to you, Anne, and says, and I'm pretty sure he just died of fear. Like he just had the nightmare so bad, or he was remembering maybe things that happened in the house, and it just made his heart just stop beating. And she points out to you all the obvious signs of a heart attack that they ignored because he's a young, healthy man, and so they, that's the least likely thing that they would have looked for. And then
Is
she says, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. This is not. This is the first time I've seen something like this, but this is something that can happen. There are some really horrible things out there that when people see them, they get so scared they just drop dead.
He was shell shocked pretty bad.
Is Jason or Leo anywhere in sight?
It's up to Jason and Leo. Like Leo's definitely sticking close to Jason today. Jason, you're getting the vibes that Leo is afraid to be alone right now with his silence and his thoughts. Like he just wants to hang out, just wants to be near somebody familiar.
Yeah, and I would have probably sought out Wayne when we came back in from our workout in the morning.
Wayne's room smells of dried ham and fresh garlic. And garlic farts.
Okay, so they're not around then. And we'll say this morning, that old creepy old lady, she was saying that she heard screams coming from his room. He had nightmares, but a nightmare, dying because of a nightmare, that doesn't.
I mean, and it's not completely unheard of for people losing the will to live. He's been through a lot. He's not as tough as you.
And Robin, at this point, since they just did an hour-long autopsy, you would have probably returned from lingering at the inn.
Is Ismark in with everyone, or would
He's
he?
standing in the hall, looking into the room.
Yeah. So when Robin comes back, she would see him like doing that, and she would pull him aside and just kind of give him like the quick update on what she.
Do you hold back any information?
No, I think she just explains exactly like step by step what happened.
All right. So at the very end, when you say frosting, his eyes turn into two slits, like fucking Brock from Pokemon, and he looks like he's entered his mind palace and is like deep in thought. And then he says, well, how did she do it, though?
Yeah, Robin's gonna shake her head.
They looked in his stomach. He had just had some bread from the tavern. It's not like he ate the pastry or something. So it's not like she poisoned him. But why would she be in the room? And how? And why would the doors be locked?
Yeah.
From the inside? From the outside? It's just a shitty door. I guess she could have picked it.
Or magic of some sort.
But why would she do something to him? I don't understand. This is old woman. Sure, she's a bit of a... Well, she's suspicious. She sells drugs, for starters. I've tried to get my father to banish her from the town, but he's taken in by her lies about spreading sweet dreams, and he at least likes to see somebody traveling the roads. I don't know.
Yeah, Robin's gonna shake her head. She's gonna say, look, I'm still learning how all this magic stuff works here, and like why people do things, and like all of that kind of stuff. But look, she's not afraid to be out on those roads on her own. I mean,
well, she has many talismans of protection, she says.
Yeah.
I've asked her that myself before.
I mean, you know,
I'm no wizard, so I don't know if she's full of shit or what, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. She travels the roads.
Yeah. I'm not trying to accuse her specifically. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I found, and we're about to leave in the next couple days, and she'll probably come back. So
what's up, Ann?
Can I hear them speaking in the hallway?
Like, I would imagine we're getting louder.
Yeah. You could definitely hear Robin in the hallway, and you sense that. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about what happened with Dan.
Hey,
why don't you come out here, and why don't you? Hey, let's get some fresh air, huh? Let's get some. Why don't we burn the Father Donovich's body, and that'll give us something to do. Can you grab Father Donovich? He's starting to stink up the dining room, huh? Come on, grab the body. Let's head through the kitchen. We will get some fresh air out back, and we will talk this out, huh?
Yeah. Robin, hearing and seeing Anne, and like poking her head in that room just enough is gonna be kind of like switch modes, and kind of go into trying to help Anne mode, and kind of pushing her out and be like, "Yeah, let's."
And seeing that Anne's not grabbing the body, Eastmark says, "I'll get it. Don't worry." And he picks up Donovich and he starts to carry him out. And as he does, something falls out of the Donovich bundle that he's carrying, and it just sort of flutters through the air and comes to rest on the floor.
Robin will.
He does not notice, and he's just taking the body outside.
Yeah, Robin will stop because she's kind of pushing Anne. She'll stop and pick it up. I mean, if Anne is moving at all. But
Yeah.
yeah. Robin will stop and grab it.
Oh, it seems to be a card. It's kind of the size of a real world playing card.
Mm-hmm.
When you flip it over, it depicts a very creepy bald man, dressed like a vicar or a priest or something, holding some sort of holy text. There is a number 2 in 2 of the corners, and there is some strange sort of sigil in the other 2 corners. As you look at the squirming letters on the card, you're pretty sure they read missionary.
I mean, Robin will hold on to this.
So Chris, you see her picking this up as you are helping Irina sort of put everything back together and kind of clean up Daniel.
Okay. Real quick, so like as me and Wayne were talking like back in time, did you want me to tell Irina that you were faking it?
I mean, so if we're actually having this conversation, Wayne would be like, well, I mean, if I tell her that I was lying, she's never going to trust me again. But if you were to go to her and say, I think he's putting on a brave face, maybe we look him over again, that will hit different for her. And maybe...
If that's what you want me to do, I will do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can try and... I don't know. I think it's going to be worse if we lie about it, but at this point, I didn't know what the reaction was going to be, and I wasn't about to put myself in that position, you know?
I completely understand. So
Right.
now we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that I've got like Irina alone,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of just mention her to her, like, you know, Wayne's been wanting a lot of meat, and he tries to seem strong. So I'm not. Maybe we should take a closer look at him when we're done here.
Well, it hadn't been a full 12 hours yet when I had them try it earlier. We could always try again.
Yeah, when we're done here, we should do that.
Okay. That seems fine. I hope he's all right. Well, yeah, we're done here. Let's go try and see.
All right.
So Jason, you and Leo are just kind of like chilling, I guess, like in like the sparsely furnitured sitting room, or did you kind of hang out for this autopsy and stuff?
Went to go check on Wayne.
Yeah.
See how he's doing.
Right, yeah. And do you just hang out with Wayne while he's up there, like just chowing down on meat, or do you have anything that you wanted to ask him or anything while you're up there?
Yeah. Wayne, how you feeling after last night?
I've been better. Not great.
Well, at least your appetite's back.
Well, I mean, having some actual non-mud porridge, tends to make things more appetizing.
Well, we'll rest it for a few days, and then we'll put this village behind us and look out for each other. Valakai's a long ways away, it seems. Are we sure we want to go all the way there? Especially if we might be able to run into the seer that might be able to get us out of this place.
The seer?
Yeah, some kind of woman.
I don't know. It seems like the only person that's going to let us go is he who must not be named. And his people, the Vistani. I don't know.
She
I
lives
think
with them. It's a days away. It's closer than hiking the 140 miles to Valakai. Gonna take over, 4 or 5 days, even if we have a carriage.
I don't know. I'm afraid what she might ask for payment. And everyone wants something of us, and we keep
We got plenty of
pushing
blue
ourselves to the limit, trying to earn our keep, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe if we can go to Valakai and just, maybe horse trade a little bit, keep a low profile, make a little bit of money, stay out of things for a bit, and then once we're 100%,
job at that.
I think we need to be at 100% before we start doing anything phenomenally stupid.
You think meeting with the Vistani is that bad of an idea?
I think meeting with the Vistani right now is that bad of an idea. It seems like everyone assesses you based off of your strength, off of what you can give, what they can wring out of you. And I think we were lucky that Arena and Eastmark found us. And I think the Burgermaster's just barely tolerating us at this point.
Mostly Arena, I think. She's actually probably shockingly trustworthy compared to everyone we've met.
I don't know if trustworthy is the word I would use, but I don't distrust her, but
More in the sense that she trusts, I don't know.
She trusts that things will work
ideal.
out if you do good things, yeah. But this place it'll chew you up and spit you out if you're not careful, and we have not been careful. I'm concerned that if we go to Vistani right now, they're going to smell weakness and they're going to take advantage of us, and we're not going to be able to get back to full strength.
So we need something that we can hold over them.
What we need is information. But we can't get that because we're under house arrest. Because I was going to say, if we could talk to the sisters that run the inn, Maybe they can give us a little, more insight, but we can't do that. At least not right now. Maybe if we can get word to them, maybe the burgomaster would allow them to come visit and chat with us. But I think our best bet is to keep our minds open. Just be receptive to information and to what can come our way. But
Whatever we pick, let's pick it and go for it.
okay,
Last night, we were too indecisive.
Then maybe we need to stop being. Maybe we need to stop being a group of people, and we need to
Be a team.
be a team. We need a team leader. I'd say Chris. He's got the experience, but I don't think he's got the desire.
Leo says, I mean, I don't want him to ever hear me say this, but he's the kind of guy that you do want making decisions in this kind of place. Like, back home, if I saw him walk into a restaurant, I would pay the check and leave. But after seeing what he did in that house, and what he's done since we got here, this is one of those guys that never left the war zone, man.
He doesn't doubt himself. That's for sure.
Well,
at least it
yeah.
doesn't seem like it.
Well, I would imagine that he just puts everything into a box and puts that box high up on a shelf, and that someday all those boxes are going to come tumbling down, and he's going to shoot a bunch of people until he gets shot. But
And you want that kind of person as an unchecked leader?
That's where I was headed. I don't know if we want to go down the road that guy would drive us down.
I think that if Chris brings a lot to the table and he's capable of leading people, but he'd also have to be open to someone that can counterbalance that.
Okay, so hear me out. And
like Anne or Robin, or maybe Robin or Anne, maybe they need to be the team leader.
Well, here's the thing. I'm still a little sus of Anne, okay? We watched her fucking die. So, like, whatever's going on with that, that's still an unknown. But, like, hear me out. Robin, and this isn't just because I'm a raging feminist and I just think, powerful women are great, but Robin, she's like, she watched her dad fucking die, and her response was to turn into, like, Red Sonja, badass warrior, but at the same time, there's still a person in there, Like, the problem with Chris is there's just a warrior. I feel like she gets it. Whatever's happening here, whatever the fuck is going on, she gets it.
Then we need to have a conversation, and we need to nominate people, and we need to pick a team leader, and we need to be less indecisive. And since we're going to be stuck here for a while, we're going to be stuck in this house for a couple of days, now would be the time to have this conversation.
I mean, you can pick a leader, but it doesn't mean it sticks. Eventually, we'll know.
Well, nothing will be more telling than our next...
Wayne, we're coming down the hallway. If you don't have any clothes on, please put a blanket over yourself.
And
I'm fully clothed.
Okay. Oh, you've had boys over. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't mean to break up
that we didn't do anything naughty.
That's a shame. All right. So, it's been over 12 hours now, so just one more little garlic check for me, just to make sure. I was maybe a little too overeager earlier. I just want to make sure everything is okay. It's just it's just a redundancy. It's no big deal. All right.
It's fine.
She peels you off a clove, hands it to you.
Wayne will try and try and eat it, but he will not try quite as hard as he did last time.
Yeah, it's rancid. It's real bad.
He'll give it a chew or two, and he's just gonna spit it out. He's not gonna try and hold it down.
You hear her kind of suck air over her teeth, and she says, "Okay. Wait a minute. You're eating all the leftover ham."
I was hungry,
Mm,
and I
all
don't
right.
know.
Well,
I
you
was
better
craving.
keep.
I was craving meat.
Yeah, you're going to keep eating and drinking and pissing and pooping and sleeping. You're not going anywhere. So that's going to be our day. I really wanted to like check maybe Chris, maybe if we work together we could no, at least one person needs to be with him just to make sure he's doing everything he's supposed to do. Chris, do you think you could look at the rats without me?
Hold on, Irina. I'm an adult. I can tell me what I need to do. I will do it. And you know what? If I can keep myself otherwise occupied with my loot, I won't move around. And maybe I can, hang out in the holding cell by Periwinkle, keep him company, keep him calm.
She's making a face that is, how do I explain to Wayne without breaking character that in order to gain the benefits of being tended to and having good accommodations so that he can have advantage on his saving throw against the disease, he needs a person dedicated to looking after him, and he needs to stay in the fucking bed. But she's like really struggling to figure out the best way to make you understand.
Well, maybe she just needs to be cold-hearted about it and say, "You're being fucking stupid."
Oh, fair.
I can watch over him. I'm banged up myself. I can make sure he doesn't overstress himself.
But are you a doctor or?
I've treated
No,
some
I
cuts
think
and
the only
bruises,
doctors
but
are-
Well, I'm gonna have to keep leeching the wound and doing all sorts of other things. Wait,
The rats aren't going anywhere. We'll stay with me and you, Irina. We'll stay with him, and
All
that'll
right.
give me time to get my head straight and rest up, and then we'll have a better chance when we look at those rats.
All right.
And I gotta fashion a microscope. So.
Well, I don't know what this microscope thing is, but I have one magnifying glass, and it was very, very expensive, and I hid it from my father because we were selling off everything and giving everything away, but it was really precious to me, and I wanted to keep it.
They didn't find any more in Bildrad's shop?
I don't know. My father's doing the inventory now.
Okay, well, when he gets back with the inventory, we'll tell him we need it. Alright? And you gotta back me up on that, even if you don't know what I'm talking about. You gotta trust me, alright?
All right. So, outside, you guys are burning the body of Father Donovich. And Eastmark's standing there, staring at the burning body like he's in some kind of deep meditative trance.
Do they at any point mention what they found out to Anne?
I mean,
Robin or
Eastmark's definitely leaving it for Robin.
I think Robin's going to she's going to say, I did find a couple of things, and I can either tell you now, or we could give Father Donovich the burial he deserves, or the burning he deserves, and then I can tell you about it after that, whichever way you want.
She looks at you like with a very hard face and is like she's waiting for you to tell her. Now.
Yeah, Robin takes a breath and then just starts laying it out.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll end on frosting.
Crash. When I first saw the lady outside, how did she seem?
Outside the house?
Yeah, when we were outside the house, she was leaving.
Like that morning.
That morning. This morning. Yeah. What is my sense?
Couple hours ago.
Yeah, a couple hours. What was my sense? Yeah. Sense of her in terms of
I
Did she look-
mean, you didn't do you didn't ask for an insight or anything at the time, so
Okay.
it just seemed like a creepy old lady.
Well, pretty much what I said is, did she look strong as a
Hmm.
creepy old lady?
No, she looked very frail.
Okay.
Like sturdy, but like she was, and because she could push that cart,
Yeah.
but she didn't look like muscle grandma.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's gonna say, we need to go to Valakai. I need to kill her.
Robin's going to kind of put a
She's not surviving.
hand. Yeah, put a hand on Anne's shoulder.
I gotta crush her.
Look, we
She,
have to do
she did this.
everything-
She did this to Dan.
Robin's gonna
She's
nod.
not surviving.
It's fine, but we
We
don't
have to
know
go.
where she is. We can't leave
Because
yet.
she has a. She mentioned having a place in Valakai, a bakery. We have to go.
Robin's gonna try to put a hand on each shoulder of Anne and
Mm.
try to get her to look her in her eye and kind of hold her still for a second. And I don't know if Anne would allow that or not.
No, it's okay. You can.
Yeah. She's gonna lock eyes, be like, look, Anne, we will find this woman if we can, but we have hurt people. We have the situation with the town here. We are going to go to Valakai, and if we can find this woman, we will. And if she killed Dan, we're gonna do something about it. I promise. But we have to be smart about this. We can't just. She's gonna gesture at your neck, and she's gonna say, "You need to heal up from yesterday."
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
We'll
I
go.
understand. We got to prepare. Make sure this is done right.
And as you say that, Eastmark kind of finally speaks, but he doesn't look away from the burning corpse of Father Donovich, and he says, "You're going to need to learn to study what you want to kill, to understand it before you do. If you think that this woman, this old lady, was capable of doing whatever it is she did to Daniel, then she has magic. And you will need to know and understand how to deal with that, or you are just throwing away your life.
Robin's gonna
But-
nod.
Know this, Anne. When you go to kill her, I will go with you. And I guess that's where we'll end for the night, because we're at time. Oof.
All right.
All right.
Have to make a note that Robin has got to insight check, and next time.
What is she inciting next time?
I mean, Anne is pretty adamant, so she just needs to see if she can read into anything going on. If this is just normal grief and anger, or if there is anything else.
Oh, fair. Yeah, make a note. We'll just start the first session. The first thing next session. We'll start with that.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on not having any combat this session. That's good.
I mean,
Yeah.
no combat, but somebody died. Every session, someone dies.
Well,
I mean,
he might have technically died last session.
That's
We
true.
just didn't know about it.
That's true.
I mean, in real life, someone dies every minute or so, or even faster than that.
Mhm.
So I mean, honestly, I think you're doing fine.
I mean, probably not in a place the size of Barovia, though.
It's probably worse. than
Oh
Barovia.
no,
It's
the
probably worse than Barovia.
mortality rate is unusually and unsustainably high. For sure.
That's why the world brings people in.
Yeah.
Do we
Kinda.
punish?
Oh, all right. Well, we will leave off there. Quick announcements. Tomorrow night, Dom and I are going to do a post-mort for Monster Hunter, 5th edition Monster Hunter. We were gonna talk about OGL being entered into the common,
Yeah.
the Creative Commons, but honestly, by now, you've either read about it, listened to it, or you have it. That's old news. Let's move on with our lives. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Hopefully, some other people can hang out with us during that time to talk about the game. And then Saturday morning, Red Hand of Doom continues. Saturday night, we're going to play a shitload of Solasta. Just a shitload of Solasta. And then
12 to 14 hours.
oh my goodness.
Oof.
And then
All right,
let's
14
see.
to 16.
Sunday morning, we've got Odyssey. No. Sunday morning, we have.
Daybreak.
Come on, brain. Daybreak. Curse of Strahd Daybreak. They're doing similar but different stuff than what you guys are doing. And then Sunday night, we got Mythic Odyssey. Might happen. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe go to Yonder. I don't know.
We're getting
Anyways,
ourselves a new boat. That's all.
And then Monday, unfortunately, we do not have any game on Monday night. Tuesday, we got double feature of Cyberpunk Red and Pathfinder 2 Abomination Vaults. If you haven't heard, Pathfinder's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. And you could go donate $25 to charity to get $420 worth of stuff. And I'm not even exaggerating. I picked up stuff today that it'd be like $60 for one of the things if I were to have purchased it. It's an incredible deal. And then Wednesday, nothing's going on.
Nothing.
That's kind of nice. And then Thursday we'll be back here. So man, 2 days off from Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know what to do. I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a shitload of Cyberpunk. Maybe actually beat it. We'll see how it goes. And then
speaking about Cyberpunk, just so maybe get somebody interested in watching. The name of the crew is now called Hood Samaritans.
Hood Samaritans.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
a very. Was that Will?
Yeah, that was Will.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
Will.
I like it.
Yeah, it's very good.
They're way more neutral than I was expecting.
What do you mean way more neutral? Like willing to do whatevs to survive? Isn't that just Cyberpunk? Like, are there really
No. There's
Oh.
the vibe is definitely more on Samaritan side.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Poverty has a way of making people mean. If they're struggling for too long, at least in games. So, we'll see what happens. All right. Anybody else have any other announcements? Any games you're trying to run? Any projects you're working on? You give a shout to?
22nd of February, I will be running the beginner box for Pathfinder 2 on the server for 4 people. It's gonna be awesome.
Is that a Wednesday or a Tuesday?
That's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Well,
Sweet.
I can't on Tuesday. I play Pathfinder with you.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm a default. Cast Simulacrum. Easy.
I mean, one time during Rime of the Frost Maiden, I did play Rime of the Frost Maiden and Sea of Thieves at the same time, but don't ever tell Dom that. So it happened once. But anyways, I had to turn in a quote. It was time sensitive. It was a time sensitive thing.
Oh my god!
I didn't want to call out for Sea of Thieves, Anyways, I guess that's it. Hope everybody has a good weekend, and we'll continue this next week.
All right.
All right.